Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, a brand new day. It's your friendly neighborhood Cinestro core. I'm your boy, Peter Paca, Petey Pablo. I'm out here to talk to y'all about some cool shit that we just witnessed. We witnessed the greatest. Oh my God. I've been waiting for this moment. Hold on, let me take this mask off. This shit.
Yeah. You can reveal your secret identity to everybody.
Oh, Jesus. Y'all.
Matt, it's been you this whole time?
What? Oh, yeah. Matt is your friendly neighborhood Spider-Man?
I fucking knew it.
I gotta call Steven.
The black one.
I gotta call Steven to erase everybody's memory real quick. Big ups, John Watts. I fucking hate you. Welcome back to Cinestro Core, everybody. It's just been an incredible week, building up to one of the greatest films. One of our most anticipated films of this year. We've just talked about the Odyssey a couple weeks ago, and then bam, got hit with some incredible news at Comic-Con, just to be followed up by a masterclass in comic book cinema. And we will be talking about Spider-Man Brand New Day. A brand new day, not just for the MCU iteration of Spider-Man, but maybe a brand new day for Marvel overall. We were waiting for the other boys to get on so we can do our ratings first and get that knocked out, but they're a little preoccupied. But we'll go ahead and start. Once they jump on, we can get them caught up, and we'll go from there. Just go around the room real quick. Gerardo, what's your rating, my boy?
Easily 5 stars. This movie doesn't have flaws in my opinion because I'm not annoying and a dork. This movie's cool. This movie's fun. It's well written. It's well acted. It looks great, and it's a great time. And I can't wait to watch it again. 5 stars.
Can't wait to watch it again in like 20 minutes.
In like 10.
Yeah, very soon. Very soon.
Luis, what's your rating?
I think I gave this movie on Letterboxd 4.5 stars, but I said realistically it's more like a 4.75. You know, like
God forbid he round up, right, guys?
Yeah, it's like a 4.75. You know, leaning more towards 5. You know, just I thought it was very, 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 very good. It fucking rips.
I can tolerate that. I still think you're wrong. It should be but I can accept that. If you say anything lower than that, we'd have a problem.
Yeah,
I too, and I know AZ and Graham are gonna say probably the same thing, but I too am at 5 stars. We've been given the Spider-Man universe. The films are not horrible. It's not like X-Men where we're like, what the fuck is going on? Yeah. But there have been some not so good iterations in the past. This is this is quintessential Spider-Man, and we'll talk deeper as we get into this discussion. But for sure, this is a 5-star film. No negatives for me. I'm already planned out the next like 4 viewings.
Can you say? I think since we're talking about our ratings, just off rip, can you say? Or let's go around and say, like, where does this rank for you really quickly before we start our discussion amongst Spider-Man films in general? And we're considering the animated Into Spider-Verse movies when we're talking about this. Yeah. So out of all of those, where does this rank for you? Because it's one thing to say, man, this is like an incredible piece of like filmmaking. Like it's great comic book storytelling. Like it's a great Spider-Man movie. But just how great is it in regards to Spider-Man movies? Where does it rank amongst all the other stuff?
Before we get into that, I want to hear AZ's rating as well. I know
5 out of 5, 11 out of 5, 38 out of 5. If you could give more 5s, I would give them 5 out of 5. It's fucking perfect. I love this movie.
So perfect. I had to go get me one of these. You know what I'm saying? Had a lot
of these,
bro. Honestly, As much as I love this helmet, I'm not gonna lie. I might have to cop the spider. I might have to betray my dog.
Bro, the eyes move.
The eyes move.
You gave a child. You gave a child adult money. That's what this is. I have so many of these helmets.
Instant cop.
I'm getting sidetracked. Oh, the Miles Morales one coming out soon. I'm buying that shit first day.
Anyways, Where does it rank amongst your top Spider-Man projects as a whole? Movies
right now.
I know everyone's gonna say It's not as good as Spider Noir, but like
Good.
let's not get ahead of ourselves.
Is this everyone in the room with us right now?
Everyone in the room's empty.
Who made
Yes.
Spider Noir?
So
We're gonna put them right next to John Watts when I'm done. We're gonna put them in the same boat.
I think my
Really
top
cool
3
line.
Spider-Man films prior to this consisted of Spider-Man 2 at the very top, and then Into the Spider-Verse, and then I would say, even though Beyond is like a sequel, and it kind of feels like it's just bridging the gap between the first Spider-Verse film and the second one, so it doesn't feel like it's fully complete. It is still a great film, so I would have put that at actually
He's thinking of a cross.
Number 1 is Spider-Man 2, and then it's Into the Spider-Verse, and then right below that, I would have to not a cross. I would have to put No Way Home. Not No Way Home. Sorry, Far From Home. Far From Home. Fucks. I love Jake Gyllenhaal. It's actually really good.
Far From Home. The one with Mysterio.
The worst of the three.
Far From Home. No Way Home is the worst of the 3. No Way Home is the worst. Rewatch No Way Home and then get back to me on that.
I rewatched them all.
I just watched all 3 of them. No Way Home is better than Far From Home. Far From Home is
No Way Home is great, but it's hype moments in aura and
John Watts is my number 1 Interpol's most wanted. I want that man in chains. I want him incarcerated.
We're not here to discuss.
He got Spider-Man and took him out of New York.
Yeah, I would say now this ranks as my favorite Spider-Man film. So this is number 1. Second is second is Into the Spider-Verse, and then third is Spider-Man 2. Upon further reevaluation, because I love Spider-Man 2, but it's very of the time, and Into the Spider-Verse launched Miles Morales into popular zeitgeist, and that's a big ups for me. That's big ups. That's my dog. That's my dog.
Yeah, no one knew who that was before.
No one knew who it was prior. I'm gonna be honest. Not very many.
Spider-Man, black one.
Bro, because think about it, they didn't even have the Miles Morales game in development until post Into the Spider-Verse. Also, they weren't even thinking they were thinking about making it a DLC. Then they made it a full game after the movie was so popular.
Yeah.
So yeah,
because niggas finally caught on. They finally understand.
What about where does this
y'all? Where y'all sit
rank among? Yeah.
So, man, I'm probably around the same as AZ right now. This is definitely my favorite Spider-Man film. Like, absolutely no argument, because it felt the most like Spider-Man. I did have Spider-Man 2. I actually have Spider-Man 2 on VHS. That's how dialed into that movie I was. It's great. There's so many good shots, especially that like lens shot, that glasses shot when Spider-Man's swinging, it pans and it's actually Otto's glasses. Like, holy fuck. Raimi was cooking. I was like, let me eat that up.
Bro, what happened to him?
Washed. Hey, all the greats get washed eventually.
Yeah, look at
this Spider-Man 2, and then
it's this. It's actually it might be Spider-Verse is in front of Spider-Man 2.
Wow.
Only because I really like I've watched that movie several times, and I still feel the same energy when I watch it. You know, I feel like this shit is incredible. Feels like a breath of fresh air for the animation. It's not a drag at all. There's a lot of funny moments when they throw the fucking bagel at dude. I didn't even know they're gonna bring that back and make him spot. Like, that shit was crazy as hell. And then like Spider-Man 2, like AZ said, it is a victim of the times it came out, but that's something that we can overlook, because all 3 of the Tobey films, the Raimi films, are kind of the same energy. Like, they're kind of cheesy. Campy film. They were made when they were made. It's like comparing the Fantastic Four of 2005 to the one that came out last year.
And all Spider-Man films usually have like an iconic thing, but there's an iconic thing from Spider-Man 2 that's been replicated in every piece of Spider-Man media, and that's the fucking train. The train scene is sensational, fantastic. Oh my god,
that whole sequence of them just duking it out, throwing blow for blow. Jesus Christ! And then him catching the train and stopping the train and doing the whole shit, and then you see it in
oh my god!
And then you see it in No Way Homecoming,
Homecoming. There's too many homes, bro.
I told you, John Watts, count your fucking days. I'm in your house, nigga. I'm in your walls.
Gerardo, what about
Luis.
you? What's your
Oh, yeah. All right, where you at?
Yeah, I mean, I'll keep it brief. I would say Brand New Day, Spider-Man 2, and I like Across the Spider-Verse more than Into. That's just a personal preference. I love that movie.
It's
I
because we
rewatch
got
it
a
more.
Mexican Spider-Man.
It does, and it has
Twitter
like I hate that ending. I hate how
Spider Hermano.
yeah, I hate how cliffhangery it is. But yeah, that's my list.
Spider Hombre.
Spider-Man.
I think they're all pretty much. I mean, they're all pretty much the same. Prior to Brand New Day, it was Spider-Man 2, Into the Spider-Verse, and Homecoming. I think were my top three favorite Spider-Man movies. But I think Brand New Day, and maybe it's recency bias. And look, I understand people are gonna be like, "This shit just came out. It's not that good. It's not better than Spider-Man 2 or Across the Spider-Verse." To me, it is the best Spider-Man movie, and we'll talk about why we think that and stuff. But yeah, it's Brand New Day, Spider-Man 2, Into the Spider-Verse. I think just are kind of just the three best Spider-Man movies, bar none. And I think Homecoming is like right there, right on the cusp. But
Homecoming, I think, does the best job of like capturing because John Watts is good at like teen comedy, so it has like all those teen comedy elements, and it gives like the best high school Peter experience. But it's just
you said John Watts is good.
In a bubble.
I think it's the best of the John Watts
bubble.
I think it's the best of the John Watts movies.
That we can agree on, because after rewatching them back to back, Jesus fucking Christ.
They're kind of
even No Way Home, as epic as it was in the theater, seeing our OG Spider-Man and then seeing Andrew Garfield swagged out Spider-Man come back. That movie's still kind of rough on a rewatch. But
I think it's because
better than Far From Home.
I think the reason also why I like Far From Home so much better than No Way Home, as opposed to like the moments where it very clearly pauses for the audience to clap their feet together and start pogging at the screen, is the fact that
no, I don't think Bryce Dallas Howard was in that one.
Okay, but I like it a little bit better just because Mysterio is one of my favorite Spider-Man villains, and the way that he was portrayed.
I love how fucking stupid he is and how lame of a villain he is.
The way his illusions were portrayed in the film were really fucking good. I really like the way his illusions were done. You're allowed to be wrong, but fuck the past.
I like when that movie ends.
I'm gonna say this. I'm gonna say this on Mysterio. I think it cheapens Mysterio as a character because we already have sorcerers introduced through Doctor Strange. It's not hard to pivot to another magic user, but I digress. John Watts hung by his toes. John Watts should be beaten with sticks in the public square. And Destin Daniel Cretton, we're gonna sing songs in your glory, in your honor. I'm pouring honey on you. Go. I'm naming my son Destin Daniel Cretton Wahoo right now. All of it.
That's crazy. I'm dead ass. He will never meet you, and this is insane levels.
When he cast me in Luke Cage the movie.
Name a black comic character, Matt's playing him.
Because they took all my shit. They took Green Lantern from me. They took fucking Blade from me. Then they canceled it. I can't be Wonder Man. I can't be fucking anybody.
I can't wait for Matt to play Misty Knight when she was
I can't be Miles Morales because I'm 30. The fuck?
You want to give us the synopsis?
I'm not Dominican.
All right. So, boom. Let me break this down for you, Pimpin'. It's a brand new day for Spider-Man. All of his friends don't remember him. His only family is dead, and nobody loves him because he doesn't exist as Peter Parker. But he goes all into his life as Spider-Man, confining himself to solitude in a shitty New York apartment, just Spider-Manning day in, day out, under a lot of trauma and stress. And he's really not having a good go of it. He tries to reconnect with his friends, and they don't really fuck with him, right? Because, they don't know he exists. They don't remember him at all. And so through this change and this isolation that's brought onto him, it starts to have not only a psychological effect, but a physical effect because he's Spider-Manning all the time, leading to elevated levels of the spider DNA hormones that are in his body, causing him to become more animalistic, more primal, overdrive his senses, and make him stronger, but more out of control, right? And there's also a new threat, which we will get into when we get into the review, which is presenting itself that threatens not only his friends and remaining that don't remember him, but also the city at large that he has to stop while also fighting his own genetic mutation. And it's funny I said mutation, but but yeah, that's pretty much the synopsis. Spider-Man facing a new threat and trying to get his life back the fuck together. And it's very, I will say, as far as this film goes, for
just like
the
me.
weird fetish that Marvel writers seem to have for making Spider-Man suffer, like they can't just let my nigga live for 5 goddamn minutes. This film does Spider-Man torture porn in a way that doesn't feel like torture porn. Like, it feels non-gratuitous. Like, his suffering feels empathetic, but not overdone, right? And I think the most effective way that you see that is through the ways that he longs to be in his old life. You know, there's this through line of throughout the movie of trying to hold on to the past, trying to maintain what was, trying to stay stuck in this one lane of who you used to be when you're changing, when you're different, you're becoming a new person, you know, hence the title, Brand New Day, right? And it's really well put throughout every character, well, at least both Spider-Man and I would say the quote-unquote antagonist of this film, who we'll introduce later on due to spoilers. But I think they are a really good encapsulation of the theme of change and being able to move forward and move on through from grief, from loss.
You
Right? I think
mentioned
it's
you
really well
mentioned
done.
you mentioned how it doesn't really kind of like the movie doesn't really like it's like yeah, Peter's like at rock bottom and it sucks and he's having a really rough go of it. But I like one of the things I really liked about this movie and why I think it's like the best Spider-Man portrayal. Like I'm not a huge Tom Holland fan. I think he's like not that great in most everything he's been in. I thought he was kind of mid in the Odyssey. But there's something about
You're wrong.
there's something about this movie. I think that they do a really beautiful job, and he does a really incredible job of really kind of balancing these two aspects of this character, right? Like Peter's so sullen and sad and so detached from everything, but he's got like something that motivates him and inspires him. And he is Spider-Man. He's got all these lives to save, right? And when he puts that suit on, and he's like so positive and so like he's just a complete different. I don't know. They captured those two aspects of this character beautifully, and they rendered it beautifully.
Yeah,
and being able to see like that very obvious distinction on screen, I thought was just. I was like, oh yeah, this is who Spider-Man is. He's just a guy who's trying to figure it out. Peter Parker's just trying to figure it out. But when that mask goes on and that suit comes on, you know, he you know, there's nothing he can't do, right? And I don't know, it just reminded me why this character works so well and why people love Spider-Man as a character. It's beautiful.
It's one of the things that Stan Lee said it's actually in Spider-Verse. Anyone can put on the mask, you know, the mask fits eventually. Spider-Man is a very relatable character. Yeah, sure, he has powers and all that shit, but at the end of the day, he's a guy who wants to do good. He's down on his luck, dealing with real world problems outside of just look at the Avengers, bro. These niggas rich as fuck. Tony Stark over there got billions and billions of dollars. He ain't worried about shit, or trillions of dollars, I should say. He ain't worried about shit. Captain America, yeah, he's a soldier, but also you're the leader of the Avengers, bro. You're doing big nigga things. You're a government entity. Like Peter's on the ground. But yeah, big potatoes. Thank you. Peter's on, oh my god, we're gonna talk about that too. Peter is on the ground suffering. This guy's life is fucking bad outside of being Spider-Man, but he manages to push through that shit. And that's something that I feel like John Watts did not catch. Sorry to bring it back and try and assassinate John Watts on this episode, but those films did not feel like Spider-Man at all. This felt like Spider-Man. I know everyone's like, yeah, we want our Spider-Man broke and suffering and blah blah blah. Like, yes, that, but also we want that to be something that we can look and be like, oh shit, he's going through problems just like me. That's what makes him so
exactly. And And to play devil's
Yeah.
advocate, I think that has less to do with John Watson. It has more to do with the previous iterations' dependency on Iron Man and being Iron Man Jr. and his relationship with Tony Stark, right? That we couldn't get the Spider-Man and the Peter Parker that we know, right? Because it's such a different take on the character, right? He doesn't have that closer relationship to Tony in the comics. Like, he's not so dependent on him and his gadgets and like his money and his resources. And they try to like kind of sprinkle that. They try to sprinkle that into the John Watts trilogy here and there, like at the beginning of Homecoming, when he loses his the Tony suit and he has to use his homemade suit to fight Vulture and stuff like that. So they tried doing it, but when it's, getting an entire movie where it's just Peter by himself, just kind of navigating the world.
Not even just that. I feel like what really goes well with I don't even want to say the name wrong. What is the name of the man who directed this again? My mind just blanked completely.
Destin Daniel Cretton.
Filmmaking Jesus.
I think what Cretton does really well is in the intro, right? When you're in the introduction, right? Like in the earlier scenes of this movie, when Spider-Man was at his workstation tinkering around and trying to calibrate the web shooters, right? And he was talking to the AI. I got a little worried. I was like, oh God, we're doing this again. We're doing more shit. But the AI and his gadgets and everything, it's really just the web shooters, and I guess to an extent the web grenades, which is just the web shooters, they overheat and he throws them out. Right? It and the HUD, right? But it's justified tech, right? And there's still that Stark influence, so it doesn't just completely disconnect from any of that impact that Tony would have had on him in his development, which would then make you have an even more sour attitude on like the Watts trilogy and what it did with Spider-Man. It still pays that flowers towards what came before, right? Builds off of it. It feels connected and it feels cohesive. And the way that they tie the plot, the through line of the film of battling a dual identity, which is a core thing of Spider-Man, of balancing who you are as a human and who you are as Spider-Man, as this amazing hero, right? Through the literal balancing of his sides, like that duality of the hormone levels of like his human, his Peter side, right? And then his Spider side, and how he puts on the mask and he's like much more happy and jovial and, going about as Spider-Man. And then he takes it off and he's back to Peter, not knowing what to do with himself. He's quite literally using the mask to mask who he is and what he feels. There's so much good layers to this movie.
And it's also like
autism representation.
It's also a very obvious like allegory for like puberty, right? Like brand new day. He's born again.
Yeah.
He's going through puberty again. It's like that's a very obvious
Spider-Man born again.
That's a very a very obvious metaphor. And it really fits into like, and we'll talk about this character later, like the antagonist of the movie, that ties into their story as well, and kind of like their whole deal and what they are, and kind of like this idea of like coming of age, and how that somehow brings about these changes in a way, right? But these characters experience those changes at a much more like dramatic scale. I just thought that was a very cool through line as well. You had mentioned through lines, and I just thought that the fact that our antagonist and protagonist kind of had that same
that mirror, that duality.
That duality, was really cool and neat.
It's just so amazing, no pun intended, how this
spectacular
it does. As some would say, I've run out of Spider-Man adjectives. Sensational. I think that's one of them. I don't know, but
it's superior. It's superior.
I've run out of quips, as one would say. Flips. But I really do enjoy how a lot of this film feels like it answered questions that I don't even think it intended to answer, right? Like a lot of people watching Daredevil Born Again were like, where the fuck is Spider-Man? What the fuck is he doing? And he's literally got like 30,000 villains every week in that opening montage. This motherfucker's fighting Tarantula, Boomerang, Cannon. Like he's having a go. He's having a terrible fucking time. And he's also going through like a horrible emotional trauma at the same time. So I understand, even though he's a street level hero, right? And as Elena says in the film, you know, the Avengers deal with big potatoes, right? He's still dealing with slightly bigger potatoes than a fat man with alopecia sitting in the mayor's office. Like, he's got bigger fish to fry.
I know.
Clearly,
I heard a couple of people complain about how like the beginning is kind of slow and like doing the whole montage thing can be kind of like expository and it's kind of like the weakest part of the film. And you know, although I agree, I think it's very necessary to like the rest of the movie, and I think that it pays off. Like it's those moments, right, that make us realize like how important it is to Peter to be Spider-Man, right? Like being Spider-Man
exactly.
is such an important aspect. It's all he's got, right? He has no friends, he has no family, he has no girlfriend, he has no prospects, no nothing. All we see him is hanging out in his workstation, no hoes, no bitches, right? All he got
No
is
paper, no
No hoes,
motion.
no bros.
no motion. Yeah, all he's got is his workstation and being Spider-Man, you know, and so and you know that leads
All he
into like
has is his Chat GPT
his
and his
ChatGPT
fly.
girlfriend. That leads to the events of the movie like paying off later, right? Like when he finally is able to make those connections or some semblance of a connection again, right? Like and we see how much that human connection and those relationships meant to him. Like it just helps you kind of like form a much fuller character, right? And it's because we got that beginning part and we got that the filmmakers establishing like, look at his life, look at how devoid of any joy it is other than being Spider-Man. But even then, that can be so rigorous and daunting and monotonous and yeah, exactly, and like and depressing. And so it's like I just thought it was, although like probably one of the weakest parts of the movie, I incredibly necessary, and I think they handle it adeptly. They're just like, here you go, here's what we need to do. We need to establish this, do
because
all these villains and move on.
Yeah, because like as opposed to like you have another film that did a similar thing where they did a montage to explain the place that these characters hold in the universe of superheroes, which was Fantastic Four, right? And the most you get out of that Fantastic Four payoff is like Mole Man coming back later in the film, and I still feel like it's not super necessary, and it doesn't really flesh them out. And I feel like we could have used a bit more of them actually doing stuff in the beginning, right? Compared to with this, where it feels like it's setting a foundation, a strong base for you to really empathize and lock in with Peter. And this is a new status quo, right? It's a new launching off point, a brand new trilogy of Spider-Man, a literal brand new day. So it's going for two different aspects of an audience. People who have been following the MCU and are familiar with the previous film, right? As well as people who may have just been dragged here on a date, or they're going to see with their friends, or like, I wanted to see something and everybody's talking about the Spider-Man movie. Let me go watch it because I know Spider-Man because he's one of the most popular man-related superheroes with Bat and Super. Like he's up there, right? So he's a big draw. And this is definitely proven by the fact that this shit crossed the Billy opening day. That's fucking insane. That's fucking
is the
not
second
opening
biggest
day.
opening. It's the second
opening
biggest. Day. No, it was 168 million, if
opening
I recall, opening day. But it's the second biggest opening in history for a film. I can't remember what's behind because I didn't look that up. I just got out the theater. I was still praising the ground that Daniel Cretton walks on, so I didn't have time to do research. But no, this is. I feel like this is a reset point for Marvel too, because this is what you need to do moving forward. Give competent filmmakers the material and room to work the way they know best. Imagine you give like, I don't know, pick a shitty imagine they give Peyton Reed this film.
No,
automatic ass dog shit film, worst film of all time, hang him by his toes and shave his already bald head even more. That's the problem. That's why Ant-Man, to me, Ant-Man is going to suffer moving forward unless they get a better director. Obviously, the Russos are about to do whatever they're going to do in Doomsday. Maybe they'll save Ant-Man from being a bitch ass nigga, a la Peyton Reed. But anyways, look at the care taken with Brand New Day versus how the Watts trilogy was handled. No,
same writers as the John Watts trilogy, by the way.
That's what I'm saying. Look at how it was handled. It's not necessarily a writing thing. It's look at how a director with a vision, a director who knows what he's doing. I don't even argue
And there's just a huge gulfing class, right, between Destin Daniel Craig
Yeah.
and John Watts. And look,
Mhm.
that's no disrespect.
Leagues
to John
better.
Watts.
He's leagues better.
I think
No,
he
full
did
disrespect.
what he I think he did what he had to. Yeah, he did what he had to do, you know, and whatever. And those movies are what they are. And I think that there's a lot of people love them. There's a lot of good things about them. But I just think from a filmmaking perspective, from a technical perspective, I mean, this movie just looks so
especially
much
by the time
better.
you get to when you get to, I believe it's No Way Home has some of the flattest shots I've ever fucking
God,
seen.
it looks
The-
atrocious.
And
Son,
when you
atrocious.
compare that, when you compare that to like this film, right? This film, even the CGI shots of the action sequences are some of, if not the most immaculate spider movement I have ever fucking seen dedicated to the screen.
Brother.
Holy fucking shit. Actually, you know what? You know what? I feel like the way we should structure this, right? Just so we stay as focused as possible when we don't bounce around and we with how we feel about the film. Let's tackle the beginning, let's tackle the middle, and then we tackle it in the end. We tackle it in pieces.
Let's do that.
Because I feel like
quick.
that is the fairest way to dissect this.
Real quick, let's let Graham just got on. Let's let him Graham do your rating real quick, because we did it. We started off with that.
5.
What's your yeah? See, I told y'all. I knew it.
There ain't no bro. Before I like really
no ball.
we deep into it. But Spider-Man 2 has been my favorite, not only comic book movie of all time, but Spider-Man movie of all time.
Yeah.
For me to say this after a 3-stint movie of fairly mid, that's such an insane statement. I never, ever thought I would make. But this is peak comic book movie and Spider-Man. This is
Oh yeah.
Bro, he's both. He's both. He's solidified himself as both.
Yeah. Yeah.
He's him.
Which is
and BBC, whatever he is. Hey,
BBC.
Big C.
BBC.
All I know is that he's Big C.
BBC.
Big cat.
Yeah.
I'm with Graham, man. I had Superman as my favorite comic book movie because I saw that shit 10 times. And then this came in and sniped it out of the fucking water.
That's crazy.
I love Superman, bro.
I respect your opinion and your love for something, but
you're talking about the James Gunn Superman or the Donner, the old OG Superman?
No, James Gunn.
Done.
Mid Gunn.
Yeah, bro. I don't know what to say to that.
That's all
it's a good film. But I don't know what to say.
All I can say is that you've seen the light.
I'm
sorry. I do love the Superman movie. This is
leagues. This is miles better.
This also Miles.
Oh,
see what I did? Thank you.
That again.
Say that again.
Say that again.
Say that again.
So I know you said you wanted to tackle it beginning, middle.
Yeah, we'll tackle the beginning, middle, and end. We've dissected a little bit of like the setup and the introduction. Yeah. I think we can prod at the montage a little bit more. First off, I was so worried originally when they were announcing how many people were in this fucking movie, and I was like, "Oh my god!"
Yeah, I remember you being
going on.
Yeah,
I was so worried. They were like, "You got Tombstone, you got Scorpion, you got Boomerang." I'm like, "Oh my god, that's so many." That's so many fucking people, right? And I was also worried because I was like, they've had Spider-Man fight his iconic villains, right? They've had him fight the Lizard, Doc Ock, Green Goblin, but they weren't his. They were people from else fucking where, right? So are they going to reheat that and have him fight those same people again? Like, what are they going to do? Are they going to like reach real deep in the Rogues Gallery? How are they going to pull this off? And they did that overstuff of villains in the best way possible, of just put them into the montage and be like, don't worry about it. The nigga was handling business. Don't worry about it. He handled them. They're in jail, save for Scorpion, because his damn ass might as well be the cockroach. He doesn't fucking stay down. But like he's just handling shit. He's just handling shit the whole time. And it also helps justify that point that I made earlier, where you're like, where is X hero? Well, this is happening, right? Daredevil's fighting just some obese bald nigga, right? Spider-Man's over here fighting niggas with scorpion tails, mechanized boomerang men, Beetle. Like, he's doing other shit. He's got a lot of stuff going on that clearly is much more bigger potatoes than Gangster Man number 70. Also,
it's a cool way to establish like the world, right? The world that he lives in, right? Like
for 4 years. I think that 4-year time gap not only is one of the biggest gaps, I think, in between sequels in a Marvel franchise, which you have to rely on a character with
enough star power,
a lot of shit behind him, like a lot of story and stuff. And I think he is that. And I remember AZ kind of being a little worried. And I'm like, dude, this is how they pay homage to the 70 plus years of Spider-Man by recreating these
70.
However long.
Yeah, he's been a while.
62 to now. Yeah, you know what? Yeah.
Damn near.
But it's a way you recreate these comic panels or these covers in a creative way and in a cool way to be like, this, he wasn't just fucking around for 4 years, you know?
Yeah. It helps the world feel more lived in, right? Like, oh shit has happened. Look how much he's grown. He's got this rogues gallery now, which is not what we're used to. He was meeting those characters, those villains for the first time, right? That's his introduction to Vulture, his introduction to Mysterio, his introduction to, all the villains in No Way Home. So the fact that it feels like, oh, he's been doing this, he's been at this for a while. And his relationship with Elisa, whatever, the girl from The Bear, that dynamic,
the detective or whatever.
The wolf, that really helped too, right? And that was also part of that montage led into his first scene with her, and they're like, oh, okay, they've established a relationship. There's history here. They have a bit of rapport.
There's a rapport there.
Again, it helps build that world. So I just thought, again,
I think
they handled that well.
I think it's a good, also like a good sideways nod to Yuri from the games. Because that's his point of contact within the Insomniac verse. And Spider-Man, you go from, like, for example, the Mark Webb Spider-Man films where the cops were like, oh, we don't fuck with Spider-Man for like half of this. There's only 2 movies, so half of that duology. And then of course in here, like, it's Spider-Man, we love you, we support. Like, it's a little bit better dynamic. I think he has a better working relationship with NYPD, notoriously bad at their jobs, by the way.
At this point, he is a veteran Spider-Man. He's been doing this for a long time. So
at least
I think
like 7 years.
This is the best relationship we've seen him have, in universe with the cops and stuff. But I think on screen, the dichotomy between him and, we'll get to a certain part here in a little bit, but when tensions start to rise, there's still stakes to this.
And that the introduction really serves to not only establish, like, his relationship with how his relationship with Ned and MJ has been impacted, and where his life's at now, and how long he's been Spider-Man, but through the defeat of all those villains and his affiliation with the NYPD and him just doing normal friendly neighborhood shit,
they showed Ramrod.
Yes, bro. They showed, bro.
Like, Ramrod. What?
Like, what?
This is great. This is so great.
His power is literally the same as Hammerhead, to where he just runs at you and hits you with CTE. That's it. That's it. He doesn't do anything. And even like for the small moments he was on there, like, I loved Tombstone in this.
Man,
like,
I want more of him because he looks really good.
Crondon?
Yeah.
Everyone was casting. Everyone was fan casting him as a Tombstone since Black Lightning.
It works so well, and because you get all of these bits of him saving the people and establishing his relationship with the NYPD, right? You get to understand not just why you, as an audience member, love Spider-Man, because you may have your own preconceived notions, but when the city starts showing out for him, right, later in the film, and you see all these people being like, we love Spider-Man, you get why. You understand, because the Avengers are all fucking off, Daredevil's hiding in the shadows beating his dick, and the Punisher's a weird smelly Second Amendment jackass, so they don't have any other people that are their dog that's just gonna dap them up and just ride the subway with them and chop it up. Spider-Man is that guy. And he's a friendly neighborhood dude. He's a down-to-earth person that you can relate to. Much like Stanley said, anyone can wear the mask. You, as well as the city, are able to relate to him because he's a grounded guy in spite of being so fantastical. And that's great. That opening's amazing.
And I think what brings the opening together is his monologue reading that letter, which, is a little bit of a rehashing, but it's still great that he is, it establishes it's been 4 years, but he's still dealing with this shit pretty heavily.
Yeah.
So I think they just do a really good job setting his mindset. Even though he's been doing all this baller shit, he's still not all there. He's not all there. Yeah. And it's because of not only the consequences of what has happened, but it's because of his actions too.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And I think that leads, and they established that beautifully by having him do the whole doom scrolling thing, right? He's doom scrolling and he's stalking Ned and MJ on social media. And that's just kind of like, oh yeah, remember that thing that he did, which led to this point that we're in now? It's just kind of like,
exactly.
It's like just an easy thing. It's just him scrolling but you understand the dynamic of that relationship and how much that loss means to him, right? And it's what we were talking about earlier, about how even though he's doing the only thing he's got that's bringing him any sense of fulfillment is being Spider-Man, those relationships are what really matter to him, right? And he's for their sake not able to connect, but he's still kind of like looking at it from afar. Like they're just such a human experience, right? These are such human emotions, and the fact that we're able to relate to that and connect to that via this character, like right away, I just think it's just a testament to like why it works.
You can even
and why he's the best, because just out of all superheroes, this is the one I think the reason he's the most popular superhero in the world is because it's so easy to connect to him on a human level. And I think, and the reason Spider-Man 2 has been my number one is because that's the closest that he's been to that we felt connected to him in a long time. And I just cannot praise this movie more for making him feel real. After dealing with some alien bullshit, like brother fought Thanos on another planet, and here he is. Still in.
They dialed it back.
And
I feel like also what's really cool is you don't see him just like grieving the loss of his friends. You also see like Aunt May and her impact is still affecting him because he's at her grave almost every week putting fresh flowers. Like he's still really fucked up. Like he's not good. And what I found very interesting, because for those of you who don't pay fucking attention, Uncle Ben has happened. Uncle Ben is canon. Like that's happened. We just skipped past it because for the 85th time we don't need to kill that old man gunned down in the street. Right? And you do still see an Uncle Ben reference in this, because right next to May's grave, it's slightly cropped a little bit weird in the frame, like the way it's framed, but you can make it out. It says Ben Parker. Like she's buried next to Uncle Ben. Like he's there. All right. So get the fuck over it. All right. It's literally a brand new day. We're moving forward, niggas.
Thank you.
All right. And now to harp on. Oh, go ahead, Matt.
Oh no, I was just gonna say we've been rewatching all the other Spider-Man films leading up to Brand New Day, and we're currently watching Amazing. And I was like, look, this was the better Uncle Ben because he did more. They killed that nigga
Martin
again.
Sheen's Uncle Ben.
Yeah,
I love Martin Sheen's
Uncle Ben. They killed him. I was like, okay, we don't need to do this again. It's like watching, like when we watch the Batman. I'm like, please do not show Bruce.
It would be like like if they made multiple reboots of Bambi and you saw her mom got shot in the woods. Each and every one. I don't care. I do not care, nigga. We've already treaded this ground. Get the fuck on. And now the hard more on the
still change it up though. Like they still the canon event I think for Spider-Man is the line of
canon event.
You're with great power comes great responsibility. I don't think it's necessarily Uncle Ben being a canon event. It's somebody in his life who gives him that line, and it's that line
they get boomed.
That he has to live with after that person's like dead. I think he's been in like a Call to No Way Home. Like he's been sort of in this Andrew phase where he's not holding back and he's, hasn't like been pulling his punches. Which goes back into his DNA. It's like I think the coolest thing they did, which is like one of my favorite aspects of Spider-Man 2, is that his DNA, when he's fucked up in the brain, his DNA is altering. And I think that is there's so much shit going on in this movie when you really think about it, but I don't know, they nail it all in such a good way, and like they put the focus on his interpersonal relationships and his inter DNA, like what's going on with him.
Yeah, I mentioned earlier
is as a physical representation. Like it's great.
Yeah, I mentioned earlier, Graham, when you were gone, about how I was like, he's quite literally changing, right? Like he is changing. He's going through puberty again, like right. This is all brand new and it's happening again. And I like how there's that through line between him and the antagonist of the movie. Okay, so now we can move on. We've kind of established like what happens.
Wait. We do also have a bit of the beginning left that establishes the threat itself. So there, after that montage, and we establish that he works with the NYPD, he gets an alert from the police captain that there is a tank that has been stolen and is driving rapidly through the town, which, by the way, Insomniac, I really do hope that Cretton writes you a check, because I know that. I know where that's from.
The whole fucking movie.
Oh, the whole, I mean, everything from the action to the fight.
It's very Insomniac.
To the swinging.
Yo,
when he takes off swinging in the beginning of this movie.
Can I please glaze the swinging? Because again, we just watched all three of the John Watts ones, and we're just now watching Mark Webb. One of my biggest critiques, the lack of good web swinging in the John Watts trilogy. That shit was so buns. Dustin, I'm pouring honey on you. Go that shot of him, and you just see it like from his POV swinging. Holy fucking shit! The shot
where it goes into the mask and you see his face as he's diving. I was like, brother, I never really thought about
it. The thing is that there's no thoughts behind those eyes.
That's
the best part about that shot. He's doing the most exciting thing ever, and he's just. I don't think he's locked in. I think he's so out of it that now at this point he's going by doing the motions up until shit hits the fan, which I don't think he was really expecting, like when the whole tank situation happens. But the swinging up until the tank part, and the tank just in general, the web slinging is on another fucking level. How did we get 3, 4, 5? I guess Tom's been in 6 movies now. We haven't seen swinging like this with him.
Yeah. Because we had the Watts films, the two Avengers films.
Civil War, maybe a little bit. Probably did it the best.
But that was a little bit confined to the airport, though. He didn't really do too much.
And what I feel like is really well done with the action in this movie, specifically around this point where it gets from like the beginning going into the middle, as it sets up the antagonist through this tank chase scene, is you justify having Spider-Man in these action sequences because he fights like Spider-Man. The same way like in Transformers 1 where you have that ending sequence, right? And you have them fighting each other, and they're not just punching and shooting each other like they would be in the Michael Bay films. They're fighting in ways like only a Transformer can move, where they transform half their body and power slide across the floor. He's doing all kinds of Spider-Man-esque moves. Flips, thwips, quips, all of it. All the ips, bro. He's moving in a way that I have not seen him move in any of these films. He's done a couple of flips here and there.
I call Cat because in Amazing Spider-Man, he's moving like a spider.
Yeah, when he webs up.
No. I mean of the MCU. I mean of the MCU.
Okay.
I mean of the MCU. Of the MCU, right? Because even in Infinity War, like the closest we got was maybe when he's crawling over Thanos.
He doesn't have to move with like a Spider-Man when he has fucking 8 Iron Man arms coming out of him. That's where we're missing.
That's still not just him.
That's right.
That's what I'm saying. It adds to your point that we have not seen him be one with the spider.
Exactly. And in this film we get it. Like the sequence of him chasing that tank through the city is amazing, which, by the way, quick shout out to John Bernthal, who has made me care about the Punisher for the first time since Daredevil season 2. That's fucking incredible.
I agree. That's remarkable. 100%.
He's out of his mind in this movie. He's amazing. He's actually really great.
Go for it, and then I'll piggyback off of that.
I want to glaze
go for it.
Because thinking back to the other Punisher films, little no, asterisk. I have not watched the Dolph Lundgren one. I want to. It's an old 80s one. It's gonna be cheesy, I know. But Thomas Jane
might go.
Was
Thomas
my
Jane
Punisher.
might go.
Yeah, Thomas Jane was my Punisher.
Ray Stevenson is incredible too. The other one, it's good. It's good, but that's the quiet action Punisher.
Yeah.
This Thomas Jane, this is the closest to Thomas Jane that we've got.
Mm-hmm.
And it's crazy because the special presentation made me more hyped for this. And what I actually loved about this movie, it didn't fucking mention that special presentation.
Good.
And I was worried that he's going to be toned down, but like he doesn't need to be dropping fuck all this like all the time. Give him some shits, give him some goddams, and it worked. And
that's
it worked.
The exact same thing. That's the exact same thing I was going to say, Graham. I was going to say I was worried because the Punisher. I was like, because he exists in a realm in the MCU that is very like hard to exist outside of. Right.
Yes.
Which is why I think Daredevil hasn't made an appearance in anything other than that one Spider-Man movie.
Hulk.
Exactly. But and She-Hulk. Yeah. But so I was really concerned about how they were going to tone him down. Right. I was like, this is like he cannot be the Punisher we know from the fucking special presentation. That cannot. He can't be the same character. That's just not going to work. The tone is they exist in two totally different registers. But I was like, how much will they tone it down? And whatever the fuck they did worked. This is I like John Bernthal, but I think his kind of like ownership of the character, oftentimes he gets muddled and gets lost in the sauce. Whatever the fuck they did for this one, I was like, this is perfect because he was funny and he had an arc. And he was doing things that I had never seen from him before in regards to this role. But he was also still that guy. He was a pain in the ass, and he was a stickler, and he was dropping shit, and you could tell that he was a hard ass, and that he did.
Yeah.
But like you could see everything that the Punisher was, but they added a little bit of levity, and I think that really worked, and I like that.
A little bit of humanity to him because I think it's cool because he knows Spider-Man's a kid, especially towards the end. When he like whatever, we'll get there. But their chemistry, Tom and John, is incredible. It's almost on par with Tom and RDJ.
Yeah.
It just, dude, they're spitballing off each other. It gets you really see that. I think throughout the whole movie, but when they're fighting the Hulk,
safe house.
In the safe house too. See, that's what I'm saying. There's so many different examples. But when he's fighting the Hulk.
I love that sequence when he's like, "Are you just gonna get out of fighting the Hulk?"
I've got
he's like, "Are you just gonna get out of fighting the Hulk?"
Build up to the Hulk story, but I do agree. Frank in this, like, I was blown away, and to a point, he's my favorite aspect of this movie, and everything that's going on with Spider-Man, because we know this is the best performance of Tom. This is the best Spider-Man we've seen on camera, but the shock to me was John and Frank in this movie.
Yeah.
And the way they establish like what the Punisher is and how he moves and like his background of like his family's dead by just that simple scene of when MJ opens the cabinet. It's like, is this your family? He's like, just fucking touch that. I was like,
I've got one rule.
We're back.
Okay, well,
with
the tank fight that goes into the prison, we kind of get the Scorpion buildup of him getting out, escaping because of this, but we also get the introduction of a telepath, which we kind of knew.
Someone is body swapping, basically, and probably one of the most interesting ways I've seen telepathy portrayed in something, because it's usually like, I can read your mind and I can control you, right? But the way the telepathy is used for this person is like it's line of sight. They look at you and they hop bodies, and I was trying to think in my head. Like,
well, it's not just line of sight, because then you kind of have to nerf the line of sight, because the line of sight's a little OP. So when you put this 33-foot radius of this, I think it does an incredible job of setting up to the point where that 33-foot radius doesn't fucking matter anymore. This person has grown past even having to use that, but to have to do that in a way that Peter can assess the situation and fight back against it with the best representation of his spider sense and how strong mentally, even though he's broken, his mind is still strong enough to where she can't jump into his brain.
Yeah.
And the way that tank scene is done to where it crashes into the damage control building, right? And Spider-Man finally gets the lid off, and I'm like, all right, what motherfucker's gonna be in here? Is it Rhino? Is it a mercenary? Like, who is it? And then it's just an elderly woman. I was like, what the fuck is happening? Who the hell is that? And then she's like, hello, Spider-Man. I've been waiting for you. And I was like, what
did she say?
Why is she so ominous? I'm getting fucking Ari Aster Hereditary flashbacks.
It was great.
It was
right?
cool.
And then when she jumps, right, and she doesn't know what's any Spider-Man is very quick to catch on. Right? Yeah. He sees her consciousness jump into one of the guards and immediately webs that guy's feet. That guy looks and throws his consciousness into somebody. And you see this person that's hopping from body to body to body. And there's this giant game of cat and mouse, of tag, where Spider-Man's trying to race up to the rooftop to stop, this person from freeing Scorpion or whatever they're trying to do with this whole thing as a distraction, because they're jumping from body to body. There's a whole crowd of people, of guards and everybody pushing this person back. And as soon as they get pushed back, they hop to another body. And it's very frenetic, but the action is so consistently followed with the camera to where it's just this energy, this momentum that never loosens up during those chase sequences.
I was going to say, I think it looks
hunt the guy, really cool. Lose the guy, hunt the guy, lose the guy. Yeah.
Too, because it's like, how is he going to stop this? And then, one of the potential gripes I have, even though I think it's just a testament to how smart Peter is and, what you use, but like how quick he is to use the AI is a lot like Tony, how quick he is with Jarvis, and like to come to this conclusion that he has to suspend this person in the air with the crane and the shot like that, when he stops him, like, and mind you, while all this is happening visually, this is incredible.
Yeah.
So it's like when he finally stops it, and then they mention, he mentions MJ or the person who's taking over him, and that's when, he's like, oh shit, this is fucking serious.
Yeah, because we see that in as we get into the middle is where we start trying to have like certain pieces formulated together, right? We still don't know the identity of this body swapper. We haven't seen their face or anything. We don't know anything about them.
Of the movie.
But Spider-Man is at a loss for what the fuck is going on, so he goes to seek out help from the Avengers, who technically don't really exist very well. So he goes to the new Avengers, aka the Thunderbolts.
Yeah.
No, that's what I was saying. The traditional Avengers, of which he knows, which he's accustomed to, of Strange, Hulk, Iron Man, Thor, that team that he was with in Civil War, gone.
He's got to go to the B team.
No, hold on.
He's got to go to the B team, right?
Let's recap. Stark dead. Rogers gone. Hulk in fucking school
retired.
Teaching niggas. Strange fucking off with Clea. Thor off world. He has no option but to go to New Avengers.
He has no options. He literally has to go to the JV squad. That's what he has to do. And so when he pulled up to the bathhouse, I was like, "Who the fuck is he going to go see at a bathhouse? Who the fuck's here?" Right? And then that lady spoke Russian, and I saw Russian on the board, and I was like,
"Only the hottest anyone's ever looked in the MCU ever, brother." Jesus.
Can I get another?
Well, I thought the way they used her was
perfect,
and it wasn't just a toss-in. Like, she had a reason. Now she is a part of the Avengers, but like she's kind of an informant. Like, just the way
while Spider-Man has like the intelligence and the technology and like the facial recognition and everything, right? He doesn't have that endless resources he would have if he had Daddy Stark's money, and he also doesn't have a Nick Fury to call on because Nick Fury is over there making shitty sequels to Secret Invasion, doing whatever the fuck. So he needs somebody he can go to who has both that technical know-how of espionage and the supernatural, all that other shit, without having to go to like Doctor Strange, because that worked poorly last time, and he has to go and infiltrate a government operation. So what government correspondent person does he know with that familiarity? Yelena Belanova. And he goes and he finds her at the bathhouse in what I think is just a very fun scene in that bathhouse where she's
very funny.
She's like sitting there completely naked in the fucking water. She's like, I need you to take off your clothes, and he's like, what? And she's like, I need to know you're not carrying any weapons, and you get nice, relaxing soak in tub. Everyone win.
And
She's so funny. I love her.
And Graham had mentioned how he thinks they use her perfectly. One of the things that I really liked about this movie is that I think, and why I like it so much and why I think it's my favorite Spider-Man movie is because he feels so part of the MCU. Like when he first showed up in like Civil War, it felt kind of like ham-fisted, right? And after that, it just kind of felt like they're like, here you go, look, Spider-Man, shut the fuck up. Look, oh my God, isn't this great? And this is the first time that he felt like he existed in a universe, in a world where superheroes other than him exist. And I love the Raimi movies, but like,
he's still lonely.
But there's something about seeing him interact with Punisher and Hulk and Black Widow and the character that we still haven't mentioned, like seeing him have these interactions with these characters who are part of a much larger world, who carry their own history, like throughout the comics, but also in the MCU. I was just like, yes. I was like, yes, this is fucking incredible. Like, and I don't know, man, just that world building.
Feels like Spider-Man. Like he's being funny, goofy as fuck.
Yes.
And depressed. Like he still has this, like you can tell, he ain't all there, but like, bro, showing his feet out of nowhere in the tub for no reason, bro, that's the most Spider-Man shit I've ever seen.
Sorry.
And it's my favorite part of the whole movie.
Yeah.
And this is something, again, I'm sorry. I'm not trying to kill John Watts, but I'm trying to kill John Watts on this. I will repeat this until I'm out of breath. The trilogy of Homecoming, Far From Home, No Way Home lacked all that so hard.
Yeah,
that we're literally begging for what I feel is bare minimum. And I was texting him, I'm itching for it. I was texting him earlier about how like Andrew Garfield, he's too swagged out to be Peter Parker, but he's a great Spider-Man. He does all the quips. He does all that shit. He's very goofy. He's moving around like a spider. I love that. Toby is a fantastic Peter Parker. He's a dork. He's a nerd, but he's also trying to balance, being the high school student and being a superhero. Tom is the perfect blend of both, and John Watts fucking squandered that for 3 movies. No, Far From Homecoming is the only one where I felt like we actually got an attempt at that. And even, I mean, I know we didn't see Spider-Man outside of being Spider-Man in Civil War. So this doesn't really count, but I do like the Russos.
Best handled Spider-Man and Infinity War. Those are the 2 best Spider-Man iterations we've had in the MCU.
I was about to say that because the Russos did handle the Spider-Man portion really, really well. I liked him and his interaction with, Tony being on the ruse and he's doing the shit and grabbing the shield. Hey guys, doing his little quips and being all goofy. I like that. He felt like a kid too. He's like, I'm talking about Star. Remember that really old movie? Like that. I love that. Yeah,
it's not his own story. Like you have to have that aspect in his own movie and his own. Like
his own bubble.
And this
really shines.
That's why John Watts gonna go straight to prison, bro.
Yeah,
I'm dealing with
that guy. I don't ever want to hear that guy's name again.
I'll say it again because I'm gonna cuss his ass out. Fuck John Watts.
Say it 3 times in the mirror and then kill him.
When we proceed from there, right? He gets information from the land, and he also goes to damage control to hear multiple parts of it because he's like, a damage control facility was hit. Let me go find out what that's about, right? And so he goes to the damage control facility, and we already see they are fucking on edge. They have like all this security. They're literally ready to riddle him with bullets in that tube if he doesn't take off his mask. And I'm like, where the fuck have you been for 10 years? No, fuck you. He's not doing that. That's not what his thing is.
One of the gripes I have with this movie, Tremel Tillman, he plays
Bill Metzger.
Incredible actor. Horribly underutilized in this movie.
Grossly underutilized.
He didn't do shit.
Part of me feels like I want him to come back. And I kind of want him. I kind of want him to be like, if they don't straight up do a William Stryker in this movie, then you do him as
Graham,
William Stryker, or at least working with William.
You could have him work with
I pulled it up earlier because I was trying to remember. He's in the little miniseries X-Men: Children of the Atom, and he's the head of an anti-mutant militia before being killed by Magneto. This is a great way to lead into Stryker and the Purifiers. I think this is what Marvel is trying to do because, like we were texting earlier, what route are they gonna? And we'll get into this when we discuss that character.
Bill Metzger is an X-Men character.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's
So
like,
him,
that's gonna make sense.
That's not on accident.
It's gonna make it's gonna make sense when he shows up later. So while I get what you're saying, Luis, that he's underutilized because we watched Tramel in Severance, in Mission Impossible. He's fucking out of his mind every time he acts. He's so good. I know they're gonna do more with him later on. Now, again, Marvel is facing racism allegations right now, so we shall see. Kevin Feige, you're under investigation,
confirmed
bro.
Racism
and
Marvel Comics.
The ghost of Ike Perlmutter just creeping into their consciousness, like the character in this movie, just possessing everyone, making them racist.
So after he visits damage control,
I think. Yeah, he has resist damage control, right? And he's like, "Hey, by the way, really kind guy who is definitely not evil. You think about VMAX, right?" And he's like, "No, can't say that I do."
Did anyone else overthink VMAX, or was it just me?
I did.
I 100% thought that they had the Venom symbiote from the post-credit scene.
Because I was thinking
and when I found out it was a fucking air vent, I kind of got pissed.
Hey, no, you know what? I think when we get to that character, it's gonna make. I don't know. It pissed me off too because I was like, "What the fuck? What is this? This is not something important." And then it makes sense for that character.
It makes sense, and I do love it, and like it's cool, but. Fuck! I wanted to.
So originally, Graham. You know where? You know where? Okay, so I was thinking one of two things. They're either going with the ultimate origin for the Venom symbiote in this universe, to where it's like a lab-grown thing, right? It's supposed to be like a synthetic suit that you use for like healing and properties and all that, like it was in the Ultimate Universe. But then I was like, no, I feel like that's too much going on, and this movie already seems to have a lot, like they've said through like leaks and everything. So I don't know if they're going to be able to do that, right?
Wanted a nod
and so then my follow-up thought was VMAX, and I was like, Maximoff? But then who the fuck would be there? Like, who the fuck is behind there? Right? Because it was rumored that mutants were going to have something to do with this, and they had dead ass. That's what I thought. I was like, did they rename him to Vietro? Like, what the fuck is what is it? Like, what is in there? What is in the box? Right? Like, I thought they were in the safe, but then that safe gets blown open, and they're just not in there. It's a panic room. So then I'm like, what the fuck is happening? Why is this mystery thickening? And you have moments throughout the middle of the film, right? You have Peter, he goes to Ned and MJ's apartment where they're having a housewarming party, and they still don't know who he is, and he's still really getting absolutely
I'm shooting myself in that party. I'm changing the course of everyone in their lives.
Yeah.
If I saw him, if I saw what I saw.
The moment that made me fold was when he sees MJ. When he sees MJ start making out with that other guy, I think then and there.
With Ezra Bridger?
Yeah.
Okay, I thought I was tripping. I thought that was Ezra Bridger, but
first of all,
in my mind, bro.
What's his name? Esfandi, don't ever shave your beard, bro. Please,
bro.
Don't ever shave again.
In my mind, when I saw him, I was like, I don't care what this nigga's name is. His name is Paul, and I'm putting a wedge down his throat.
Yes,
I'm killing him. I'm killing him.
Remember that scene when that panel when Peter's shit talking Fisk, he's got him with his wrist in his mouth. I was like, boy,
where he's like, I'll suffocate you niggas. I was ready. I was like, bro. I was like, I swear to God, bro, get your dirty paws off our woman right now, or I swear to God, I'm about to make some shit.
And it's like I've heard people be like, oh, the pacing is kind of weird, it's kind of off, and it's kind of like all over the place. I like that. Like, it's like we got all that depressing shit, and it's like now Peter's doing all the Spider-Man stuff, kind of as detective work, he's figuring stuff out, and now here comes the emotional shit, and now here comes MJ, here comes that. I thought they were introduced in like at the perfect. I thought the pacing was great because they were introduced in a time where it's like, okay, so let's go. Oh, we're getting a lot of plot. Okay, we're really figuring out like some shit's happening. Boom, emotional human shit. Here you go. You want it, and it's like, I was like, this is exactly where this should have landed. Because if you continue that to deliver plot and story, people will be like, okay, I'm bored. What's going on? Like, what are we doing? And they added that, and then we spent a lot of time there in that moment. So I thought that was just
marinated it.
Yeah,
you get to see through Peter's eyes, quite literally, of these fantastical, amazing things he's doing as Spider-Man. Wow, Laredo, Texas, contributing something. Go Laredo.
Bro,
That's one on the
shout
board.
out. Mine is fine, D, bro. I take back what I said, bro. Do whatever you want. You my homie right now. Big up Texas, bro.
He's from Texas. He automatically gets the.
Who's
That's
from
what I'm saying.
Laredo?
All right, but all I have to say,
What
you get
the
to
fuck?
you get
That's
to.
what I'm saying. What the fuck? He's
I'm
from Laredo,
saying
Texas.
it's fucking Laredo, Texas.
What's
crazy.
good?
That's crazy.
We breaking bread with this
through
nigga
those
today.
moments of where it stops and starts, right? Of where you get these bombastic moments of action and then emotional beat, bombastic moments of action and then sad emotional beat, where it keeps going back and forth. You start to see the world how Peter's seeing it, because he has this amazing life that should feel amazing, but then it's ruined by him having to confront his normal everyday shit that keeps him depressed as fuck. And then he starts mutating because he finds out that the spider hormones in his body are making his senses go haywire. And outside of Infinity War and also No Way Home, I thought we had seen the peak of the way that spider senses is shown. But the way they do it with this like overly saturated, very bright, very sensory field distortion, right? This like, it reminds me of Eternal Sunshine or The Spotless Mind, like the dreamy sequences, right? That kind of like fade in, fade out of reality, right? And how it shows he's just absolutely tweaking. Like there's a fucking bag of Takis coming by, and his senses are so high pitched that it's making that sound like it's a roar of elephants, right? And I hadn't noticed until the buffs started coming in from his spider hormones going into flux that I hadn't processed this. Up until this point, Spider-Man is relatively weak, like compared to what we know Spider-Man can do. Like he's pretty nerfed, right? And the hormones, what they've done at this point is they've started increasing, and Peter's having to fight more and more against this mind-controlling threat, but he doesn't know where it's coming from. And it starts coming to a head where he ends up finding out that Scorpion has escaped. A guard was possessed and walked him out of the building, and now Scorpion's tearing up a damage control building looking for this VMAX, this MacGuffin. Yeah. We don't know what it is yet.
I can't remember at this point. Did he lose his?
Yes.
Did he lose?
Yes. So at this point, he basically has like an entire episode where he becomes completely unconscious, right? And he gains organic webbing. He essentially wakes up outside of his apartment in a web cocoon before he figures out what's fully happening. And you get this very funny sequence where he falls down like fucking 20 feet like the fucking New Goblin, and then just has to crawl in through his window into the laundry room, and there's just a guy who sees this guy in his fucking boxers walk in all bruised the fuck up, and he's like, I live here. I'm not like a weirdo or anything, because I live here. This is where I live. These are my clothes. I'm just gonna put these on. And he goes in the elevator, and his neighbor's like, is that my shirt?
He's like, my shirt. He's like,
hey, you got them juicy pants on?
The juicy.
He turns around, and it's the juicy sweatpants, and I was like, that's so good. And then he finds out what
a juicy spider ass.
So I want to say something. We moved on from the scene really quickly because I know we got a lot more to cover, but I just want to say, like, really like. I know Tom Holland and Zendaya are married, so you know they obviously have good chemistry. But those scenes between them, especially the one at that party, I thought were like really, really good. I was just like, man, they're
you see,
I know they're too. Like these people not only are they married, but like they're best friends.
They're best friends in real life.
Long time.
The
scene that happens later on, but I think same thing with the party scene. Like him and Ned just, I don't know, and I guess it's because you know that they used to be best friends, and like it feels like they don't miss a beat, kind of, even though they have missed a big beat. It just like feel like we pick up right where we left off.
That's it.
Anyways,
Scorpion.
What's so great is
I want to talk about the webbing on his way to the Scorpion fight, like him not being able to control the organic.
That builds into it.
Talk about that.
So when he has the familiarity with the organic webbing, because he's like, Peter 2 had these, can't be that hard, right? I like how they still, nod to what came before.
He was like, he's cool, I'm cool,
right? And so he tries to web it, and you have him doing that homage to like the Spider-Man 2 scene where he's like, go web. Go, Web, stop, Web, go. Like he's having to verbalize it because he doesn't know how to control it.
Go, Web,
and when he's swinging over to the damage control facility to stop Scorpion, and he's just like slapping into shit. He's got pigeons stuck to him. I love it. I
love it.
love that entire sequence. And then when Scorpion's like looking up and he sees Spider-Man's coming in, instead of like this graceful, triumphant thing, he crashes through like 4 neon signs and lands on like a Honda Odyssey and just fucking flattens. And it's so good.
He landed on a BMW because this movie was sponsored by BMW. Every 5 seconds, I saw a fucking BMW
on ad. Yes.
But AZ, to tie on to what all of y'all have just said, actually, you mentioned earlier about how you felt like Spider-Man is a little bit weaker.
Yeah,
I definitely agree on that because I feel like it's by design. I don't know if this was in their plans to make him have the organic webbing at this point, but I feel like, me personally, I feel like him having the web shooters is a bit of a, yes, it shows how intelligent Peter Parker is, but it's also like, okay, he's not fully Spider.
Well, to me, it's just the grand scheme of his introduction into the universe being under Tony's shadow.
Exactly.
And it's like, with Andrew, he made him because he's just that fucking smart. He didn't have anybody in there. And that's Spider-Man. Like, if it was a thing where, he was sort of making it before he met Tony, but not to the level where he is now with like, obviously at some point he's going to learn how to do web grenades and stuff, but it definitely still felt like this is, and I think tonally, and a big theme of this movie, he's still holding on to the past with those web shooters. And this is when you kind of really start to see him break, where he really is like, this change is inevitable. And now he's like, against the Scorpion, at first he's like kind of fighting against it, and then it just becomes too much. We've come to find out that Scorpion is also being mind controlled by the telepath, and they're fucking with his mind because they know he's at a vulnerable state mentally and physically because he doesn't know what the fuck's going on.
Also,
and when he breaks and his eyes go black, and it's the second time we've seen it, but like he's in a situation and in an environment where like the anger is what takes over this, that rage, bro. When he snaps,
when he pulled the tail off of Scorpion,
that's the Spider-Man we're seeing when, like in Superior Spider-Man, when Doc Ock is like, holy shit, he could literally kill every single one of us with one punch, and he's not doing it. This is when we see him damn near let that control slip, and where he lets his full on, where he drops that dong. He put the dong on the table against Scorpion.
On him. Put the MS on him.
And like I was saying about how Spider-Man moves like a spider, right? Like he justifies having Spider-Man as the titular character, and he fights in a way that it wouldn't be if you just had, I don't know, some guy named John Smith as the fucking lead protagonist, right? Could have just been swapped out with any guy, right? The way Scorpion fights is fucking cool as shit. It's not just jab the tail. He's using the tail to like springboard himself up and doing like fucking karate kicks and shit. And I'm like, that's awesome. He's using the tail to like block and give him like a shield and covering from the gunfire. Like he's a credible threat. You understand why it wouldn't just be normal cops taking this motherfucker down, because he's that guy.
Well, it's not just that. It's because he's mind control, which is what I mentioned while Luis was gone. Like,
right.
Did any of y'all watch Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man, the cartoon?
Yes.
Okay,
yes.
So
I did.
Besides Luis, y'all will get this bit, but Spider-Man, Scorpion is in that, and I think they did draw some inspiration because we haven't seen Scorpion in this level on the screen. We haven't seen him like this on the big screen for sure.
Didn't get enough.
Smaller media. Yeah, we need more. Smaller mediums. We have seen Scorpion do Scorpion things, and I think them introducing some of the more traditional villains. Like example, we got Vulture in Homecoming. We haven't gotten the Goblin yet. Which, speaking of Goblin, Ned Leeds. That's all I'm gonna say. Hobgoblin. That's all I'm gonna say. We're gonna get some hobgoblin action, hopefully.
Man, he could be gobbling these nuts, bro.
But I mean, Tombstone was there. Shit, we might get Rhino down the line, like to do it right because fucking
Craven do right, and that's what I think. The best thing is like we saw. This is the best we could have got of Scorpion for what we did get of him, and it was incredible. It was cool. I'm still of the mind that Scorpion should get the Venom symbiote before Spider-Man.
Oh yeah, 1000%. I need sadistic Matt Gargan, please. I need that.
But what I was saying while you were gone, Luis, like when he finally snaps, and like she is telepathically through Scorpion, like fucking with him a little bit. Yeah. We're finally seeing him like snap, bro. He almost kills the cop, and like now he's really like he's even at a lower point than what he was because he's like the inevitable is happening, and I have to like either. And obviously he
get with it or get left behind.
Like, he's like, I'm getting cut. Yeah. I almost killed this cop.
I'm getting cut.
Apart, bro.
He's like,
no
I have no money,
no paper,
I have no drip, I have no papers. And then also I want to mention this about that Scorpion sequence. He straight up like when he grabbed him by the tail and slammed him into the cop car. My first thought was that cop is fucking dead. Holy shit. Spider-Man just killed a cop. Holy fuck. Oh my god. That's insane.
Spider-Man's ever done.
And you honestly, the most woke thing he's ever done. Power to the people, brother. Power to the people. But like not even just the fact that he almost killed the cop, it's that he slammed Scorpion, and this isn't like comic Scorpion where he's in like a full mechanized suit, right? He effectively just has like the harness.
Tail.
This is just a nigga with a tail, and he beats this man so badly. Biblically beats him the fuck out. He beats him down. He grabs the tail and starts like he hits him with the puny god combo after whipping him into the fucking car, right? And then he throws him onto the ground, and then just starts boom,
when he raises the thing into the air and webs back down. I thought he killed him.
His ass,
I thought he fucking killed him. I was like,
his ass. Oh my god!
Scorpion was like looking at the little buttons above his head. Fuck.
Yeah, he has triangle circle combo pop up.
Dead ass, because I was like, he did that. He did something similar to Goblin. I'm like, well, Goblin can take that. He's a fucking super soldier. That's fine. Right. But Mac is just a Latino nigga with a stinger. He's not getting up.
Latino.
He's going to die.
Not even Latino. That's crazy.
And then when
he plays Latino,
he's not
but he's
really.
No, he plays him.
Really?
Stolen Valor.
Yeah, he's not saying he's really convincing.
Dominicano,
like when he's playing Vaz and when he's playing Nacho, I really thought he was Latino. He pulls that shit the fuck off. Could have fooled me better than Ramos. Really.
This sequence I think leads.
But when he's like right about to kill him and Wolf snaps him out of it like Spider-Man, you almost killed a fucking cop, bro. What's wrong with you? And he's like, I'm so sorry, and like he's still like trying to help. He's like, is she okay? Can I do something? Like he doesn't know what to fucking do. He's literally spiraling, and then he just swings the fuck home because he doesn't know what the fuck to do. He's literally at the end of his rope, not knowing what's happening, and then where we get introduced into a sequence where he's like at his wit's fucking end. Developing the inhibitor, he goes to Banner and he tries to be like, hey, Dr. Banner, hypothetically, for the sake of the argument, let's say somebody was trying to suppress a gene. How would they do that? Right? And Dr. Banner also helps, harp on that through line of the movie of, well, who says that a natural thing such as that needs to be suppressed, right? Needs to be subjugated, needs to be changed, because that's what makes you, right? You're not truly a danger. You're just going through that person, or whatever reason you would need this device, is just going through a change, and maybe that change is something that needs to be embraced. I know for a fact the Hulk is not very good to just be let out because of what's happened, what I've done, right? But whatever reason you would need this suppressant, I don't think is fully fleshed out. Maybe, research into it more, right? And so we get that little nice little tidbit of wisdom from him seeking out Banner And then later on, while he's going through the city, trying to figure out how to use his inhibitor and also balance that with his new organic webs, he has an accident in the alleyway where his webs go off, and he activates the web grenades, and he gets launched out in the fucking traffic. And he gets up, and this guy who I thought at first was Shameik Moore, by the way he sounded, I genuinely I was like, wait, what?
So racist. What the fuck?
He sounds like him.
Black one.
He sounds like him. He's like, yo, like Spider-Man. Where he's like, yo, Spider-Man. I was like, what? And he's like, having a little bit of trouble there, right?
Yo, Spider-Man.
Give me Shameik Moore. Yo, Spider-Man.
Yo, you seen Haley around here somewhere? Is Seinfeld available?
Yo, is Hawkeye here?
He talks to that guy who at first is just like a normal dude, or at least he seems, and then he starts mentioning like, oh man, it really would suck if you couldn't save everybody. And he's like, what the fuck did you just say to me? And he realizes that guy is possessed. And so Spider-Man executes stop and frisk on a black man in New York and webs into a wall. And then crazy. And then the bodies, and the guy swaps bodies, probably confused as fuck because he was like, bro, I was just getting a glitch like 2 doors down. And then he swung his webs to the side. And he so the consciousness jumps bodies, the telepath jumps bodies from this guy and is just going from person to person, walking past Spider-Man on the street being like, yeah, bitch ass nigga, I'm gonna get your loved ones. Yeah, bitch ass nigga, you can't save nobody. Damn sure we'd be ashamed if somebody took your bitch. Like he just taunting him. Yeah. And I'm like, Spider-Man genuinely is being dead ass. Like he's being hit with like supreme gaslighting because he is familiar with this element of like superhero-dom and like all this other shit, right?
His villain is like right now, because
but after a extended amount of time of the villain, the villain is introduced to be.
Let's not call them a villain. Let's call them an antagonist.
Sorry.
The real villain,
an antagonist.
The real government entity. Let's start there.
Right. The real villain is the government. Surprise. But
it's
the
Jean
thing is,
Grey,
the villain is Jean Grey. It's Jean Grey. It's Jean Grey. If you held out this long,
before we get deep into the discussion, let me get this off my chest. Steve Lacy, I hope you have the worst day of your fucking life. I hope everything bad that can happen happens to you. You're a bitch.
Unreal.
You should never be interviewed. You should never have a career after this. I don't give a fuck. Your music is not even that good to be doing shit like this, bro. Fuck you, nigga. I hope you step on a Lego. I hope you fucking get hit by a fucking truck. I hope everything bad that I can conceive and that hasn't even conceived yet happens to you. I hope you every time you have to. I hope you get the Dookie lettuce. I hope you get that fucking parasite lettuce, bro. I hope you shit yourself and there ain't no diapers and no toilet paper around, and you're in a fucking QT bathroom suffering with no toilet paper, bitch. I hope you slip and piss, you slip and fall in the bathroom, and you fucking crack your teeth. I hope that you eat salmonella infested fucking eggs. I hope that you I can keep going. That shit pissed me off so bad. Okay, just to preface. Last week at the premiere of Spider-Man Brand New Day, Steve Lacy was interviewed, and the interviewer said, no spoilers. What is your favorite part of the movie? And this bald bastard fuck says, Jean Grey. I said, what the fuck? What the fuck is this?
Straight up said Jean Grey.
Now, I'll play a little devil's advocate. We can infer that Sadie Sink was playing some kind of telepath, right? We can infer that.
No, you couldn't, bro.
But here's the thing. Hold on. Here's the thing.
I heard she was Jean Grey a long time ago.
Anyways,
there's so many unsubstantiated links, bro. There's so many unsubstantiated links and all that. You can't
anything. Everyone's gonna say Jean Grey.
Well, here's my thought process. Yeah. I thought she was Typhoid Mary. I thought she was like all these different characters until Stephen Bastard Lacy ruined the movie for me.
Bro, Feige should have shot him on the spot. He should have had a laser pop up on his forehead.
I want him in those, those like those live leak videos where they got niggas in hostage situation. Yeah. I want him standing like this with his arms up, praying like, "Please help somebody."
I want that Predator's dot to pop up.
Yeah, those 3 little triangles.
Yeah, the three dots. You just see him like just detonate the red mist. Like he's just gone.
Look, and here's where where the movie takes a wild turn because of like the implications of like what this character means to the MCU moving forward. And I think it kind of takes a step back from a storytelling perspective because we have to figure out like the Jean Grey backstory and what's going on with her and what's motivating her and stuff. And I think it brings the movie to like a halt, right? And I'm just like, what are we doing? But I think it's important because it's Jean fucking Grey, right?
I like the twist. I think the way it wasn't one of the things I think I really loved was that it didn't give you that half a second or a minute to hearken on it, kind of like and how they did really big with like No Way Home. You know, there's a lot of moments where it's like I think there's a lot of moments in a lot of MCU movies where it's like, recognize that, think about it, let's go on. The way it was just like thrown out there, let's move on. Like she's obviously a problem.
No fanfare or anything. Just straightforward.
Right. And bro, in my theater I was sitting around a lot of young kids that were just bullshitting talking. And bro, they said Jean Grey. The movie theater was silent. And I was like, oh, I literally made that noise. And one kid looks, dude, bro, I thought it was gonna be kind of loud, you know. I was like, oh shit. And one kid looked over to me. One kid looked over to me and he goes, he was like, what's so great about that? I was like, the fucking X-Men. He was like, I don't know.
You said, bro,
he just was like, whatever. And I was like,
because there's a lady behind us that it got quiet and like you see Sadie Sink show up and she goes loud as fuck too. That's Jean Grey. And I was like, I turned around and I was like, I'm already ready to beat the shit out of Steve Lacy. I'll cuss you out too. You can get it.
I'll cuss you out too, bitch.
Steve ain't here, you are.
But I think it's part of the, like another
direct
thing.
Victim, bro. Like you can get fucked up.
Brought in Yelena in a cool way and not just a throwing away, like to provide this information of this, like. I think everyone kind of had sort of a hint going into the movie. Maybe not the normals, you know, the general audience that isn't on Twitter habitually like us.
Not the sick.
But I think just that confirmation,
cinephiles like us.
Just the confirmation that it was Jean Grey is like, okay, it definitely brought the movie to like this stop where like, I don't know, they just throw in this twist and it's like, holy fucking shit, here's where we connect to the larger MCU. It's still a Spider-Man movie, but like now
but it's so important because it's like it's such a huge deal.
Right.
This
well,
is the
and
first
what
X-Men
I was going to say
in the MCU.
X-Men, like X-Men.
X-Men, yeah, it's like the first X-Men, in the MCU. Like
we've seen mutants, whatnot, but also, I think what I wanted to mention about Tom and the Scorpion fight is like this fight is about that Scorpion fight, and then is going to change the entire landscape of the MCU with the mutants because it's what makes him realize he needs an inhibitor chip, which in the grand scheme of things is gonna fuck up a lot of people's lives, and he's starts to kind of realize like the only way he can stop this telepath, because he can't fight that, is to put this inhibitor chip on her, or then he doesn't know, I think at this point, but it's mind-blowing what the implications of this are, and the implications of her coming on and how she has acted up until we've seen her at this point. Like Luis mentioned, she killed somebody. Like that guy was out in the road. Like she's killed several fucking people.
She killed those two guards. She killed like 6 dudes.
But when you kind of get the scheme of things of her story, that they took her sister, you know, like what would you do?
The only family she has, too.
Right. Especially when you have
killed a
this
random homeless man.
I mean,
Hawkeye and fucking Endgame.
The thing is, it's also
the world got snapped. I'm gonna go kill brown and black people.
It's also, listen. Here's the thing, right? Which funny you mentioned Thanos, because there's actually something I want to harp on. They did do a little lampshade where that girl in Banner's class is like, why didn't Thanos just double the resources instead of killing
the name of
It's Cindy
Moon. Silk.
We up.
Incredible shit.
Talk to me, niggas. Talk to me.
How did I not?
She literally says yes, Cindy, and she's in like, bro.
But I don't know, ball AZ. Get the fuck out, bro.
Yeah, AZ, your card revoked.
Yeah.
Revoked.
Put it on the table.
Luis, we giving you his card right now.
Thank you. Taking it.
I'll kill you where I stand. I'll kill you where you stand.
You don't know Webb, bro.
Look,
you don't know Webb like that. Bro.
Look. Spider-Man side bitch aside. What I want to say.
Wait, hold on. Before we advance on that, can I please talk about Sunny Moon? Because I think it's interesting that we're going. No, hear me out. Let me talk. Shut the fuck up. Let me talk. I think it's interesting that they're talking. No, let me talk. I have a fucking point. I think it's interesting that they're going this route about how he's like going through these DNA changes and how, if you know the comics, I'm not gonna go into that because that's too much. But I think it's interesting that Graham, shut the fuck up. I think it's interesting that they're going with the whole, hey, your arachnid DNA is elevating, is going this route. I think it's going to help open up more spider characters to come into the MCU because of that.
I don't think they're going to be able to do like the same Spider-Verse, but I feel like they're not going to be. I feel like they're not going to be able to do like the same origin of Cindy being bitten by the same spider, because if so, where the fuck has she been this whole time?
Exactly. So I think it'll be a little bit of a different.
Or maybe they'll do it in the reboot after Secret Wars. Maybe. Who knows?
We shall see.
She was just a throwaway character, but it was cool as fuck.
But yeah,
good catch.
It was neat singer. But what I will say is, go ahead.
No, go for it. I was gonna say it's so that whenever Tom's like, I don't want to do this shit anymore, they have a wealth of characters from which
they have fallbacks. But past that point, we figured out that it's Jean Grey, right? When it was announced that it was Jean Grey in the film, it was dead silent. I went to the most respectable theater. Niggas were not making noise. They were treating that shit like it was church. It was great. I love that. And brother, Cinemark, Plano, Texas, 9:40 p.m. They don't give a damn.
Cinemark Legacy?
Yeah. The one off of the highway? Yeah.
Yeah, that one I actually have pleasant movie experiences at, because people shut the fuck up for goddamn once. But all to say, the movie theater was dead silent, and the moment it said Jean Grey and like it doesn't dwell on it, loud as fuck. There was this big ass black dude who had because a bunch of people showed up dressed in Spider-Man costumes, right? Like just various Spider-Man suits, and they had the masks off because you can't have masks in the theater, but then they put them back on when they got into the actual auditorium. And it was very funny because when they were all like saw each other, I was like, hey, that guy's wearing a Spider-Man costume. They all started like pointing at each other, like all the different Spider-Men, so that was fun. But the main thing that made me laugh is the big old black dude who was just this giant fucking hulking Nigerian looking motherfucker in this tight ass Spider-Man suit. The moment they said Jean Grey, I just hear him go, oh my God, the X-Men! So
the X-Men! Appropriate response.
That's what I was hoping for. I was the only one.
I was like, oh shit. I said, oh shit.
Dude,
my girlfriend was like, what?
I was sitting next to this. I was sitting next to this dude.
I didn't react because I got spoiled by that Bob fuck Steve Lacy.
There was somebody who was walking in, right? There was somebody who was walking in, like there was a group of people were walking in the aisle next to me, where I was, because I was sitting next to this dude that I didn't know, and then like my girlfriend was like to the left of me, and I was like, I saw them with their flashlight, and I looked at them with the flashlight. I was like, bro, what the fuck? Like the movie started. Like, what are you doing? And he had the balls to be like, hey, yo, turn that fucking light off. And we're trying to watch Spider-Man. And they turned it off immediately. And so I was like, bro, I'm going to be locked in with you the rest of the movie. So when they said Jean Grey, I looked at my girlfriend. She had no reaction because she doesn't know ball. But then I looked at him and he was like, dog, and we dapped. That was a beautiful moment. Ended racism right there. W white guy. I love that guy. That guy's a fucking card to have. But with Jean Grey being introduced, they imply that Damage Control not only has been studying mutants, but hunting other ones, and they don't understand their patterns.
And they also imply the existence of mutants.
Do they,
like, prior to Jean?
Yeah.
Yeah, because they know about Sarah. They hunted Sarah and Jean down, and they captured her, which means that they've been they know about her, they knew about them, they tracked them down, and they experimented on her precisely for that reason. That gives me the idea that they're also hunting other mutants.
Right? Yes.
Yeah.
And the way
what you get out of that. Oh yeah.
I was just gonna say the way that the prior movies, not even just the MCU films, because they haven't really touched on mutants or X-Men to this point. Yes, they kind of mentioned Miss Marvel a little bit for 2 seconds. But like if you think about how like Stryker approaches mutants in X2, this is a good way to do that without having to be so overt and be like, hey, here's mutants and the world fucking hates them. They think they're a scourge and they're fucking horrible, and we want to get these dirty muties out of here. I think it's being done with great tact in consideration with the greater MCU and how you introduce everything.
Well, I think this is a good build up to get to that thought right there, which eventually the world will think that something either so despicable will happen,
like Jean fucking freezing everyone.
I mean, they already turned on the Avengers that quick in Age of Ultron. I don't think it's going to take much for a race of people, like it's just always, it's, it's a,
I know.
So I think that
how quickly they turn on Spider-Man.
Like,
yes.
If the news breaks out that say Jean was a mutant and the actions of her in New York causing, a mile ride radius of people being controlled, of explosion, like it'll cause a rift somewhere down the line. And I think just the way they lead into that with this and not really mention other mutants or like delve too deep into it, just know that one, she's on the hunt. They know how dangerous she is, and they're obviously using or trying to use her powers to either clone it, recreate it. Like it's a fucked up thing that's being done to this person. She's doing fucked up things, but it's because she's had some shit happen to her.
She's been on the run with her sister for like years, it's implied, right? And their mother abandoned them because she saw them as freaks, right? That shouldn't embrace their gifts, that they're horrible people just because of the way they were born, right? And at every single turn, it's implied that other people have tried to capture them and exploit them, and they've been on the run from damage control. So they see anyone who is not a mutant because it's alluded that they don't really know about anyone else like them, right? Out there, because they see this latent hypocrisy with humanity, right? They love the Avengers, they love the Hulks, they love the Iron Mans, the not the Fantastic Four, but like the Black Panthers. They love like all these people who have these fantastical abilities, right? They love all these people. They love Spider-Man, and Spider-Man would basically be considered a freaker like them, but because they were born this way, instead of quote unquote working for it or having it accidentally happen to them, they're seen as less than. They see anyone as humanity as their enemy, that Magneto mentality, right? And so I can see how they would get to this point where she's like, listen, my sister is the only one other person that I know that's like me, the only other mutant I know, the only family I have, my entire world, and I will burn the rest of the world in order to get her back. And I understand her means. Now, is the murder justified? God, no. God, no. You killed innocent people, Gene. You kind of suck. But, like, I understand, because you're a teen, you're like a kid. You don't know how to control your emotions to think as clearly and rationally as possible. She went full Frank Castle, right? My family's gone, now the world is my enemy.
Yeah.
I don't understand that.
My thing is, like, I love this review. I love that they're kind of not they're kind of macro dosing the X-Men into the MCU now, right? Like they're just like, here's fucking Jean Grey, she's the antagonist of the fucking movie, like boom, here you go. And it's like, and that's great, and that's exciting, and that's really cool. And I understand the repercussions of this character and like what it means in the world. My thing, and like the only pushback that I have about the introduction of Jean Grey and the X-Men this late into this version of the MCU pre-Secret Wars is just how do you justify their existence within the universe that we're currently in and nobody knows about them? Damage Control does, obviously, as we've established. They hunted down Sarah, they hunted down Jean. They're kind of familiar that there are people who are born different with superpowers and that you can experiment and exploit them. Okay. But in the grand scheme of things, the fact, like, and I know, and we mentioned this in a group chat, and David was like, what? Magneto and Charles Xavier were the only two motherfucking mutants, like, in the... No, obviously not. But like they're two of the loudest voices when it comes to mutant rights, right? Like just canonically when it comes to the
muties
of mutie rights, exactly.
Well, I think it could have been going on. I think this is a
Like I
big
said,
world.
like,
you know,
let
this
me-
is
let
a
me- I'm
big
gonna
world,
repeat-
and
I'm gonna
I
repeat-
don't think
I'm gonna
they have
repeat what I
not been
texted.
obviously focusing on mutants at all. So, like, to
Right.
me, I guess why mention them
Because it would be a
prior
big
to
No,
this?
deal.
because
But-
because
people
they
won't-
first of
well,
all because they couldn't because of the whole rights thing. This is the
I
thing
know.
with
I
this
know.
is the thing
I know
with
logistically they
Spider-Man and X-Men. And even getting this little bit of
Let me-
Hulk, like the whole rights
Let me-
issue. Yes, but now that they
Not
have
even-
the rights, now they're going to try and start implementing bit by bit.
Even from like a standpoint of within the canon of the MCU, right? When you first have Iron Man pop up, right? That's the most fantastical thing
Yeah.
that's happened in the MCU at that point.
In
I mean, we had like
2008
Steve Rogers and
timeline.
Captain America, right? But that's over in the 40s, and people don't really know or care about that because it's old history, and we haven't seen Captain America for 70 fucking years, right? So that's what we
65 or
know,
whatever.
right? Anyway, because of that,
Fuck me.
you have essentially an open field, right? An
Mhm.
open field, and the only needle there is Iron Man. That's the only needle, right?
You don't,
But then
though.
you have more and more fantastical things being added, right? You start adding haystacks, right? And then eventually you get to big purple space Grimace coming with a magic glove and booming half the universe.
But here's
And then
the-
all
here's
the
the thing.
vigilantes that are in Daredevil,
Within
right?
the
All the ones that are in She-Hulk and within Ironheart and just
Well,
mentioned, name drop. They have fucking Mr. Immortal, right?
Sure,
There's all
no.
these giant things that are happening constantly,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
So it makes sense that government organizations and those people would be like keeping tabs, trying to figure out, but they would also be harder on two fronts to figure out two things. One, that these people are just born with their powers and they're not just like vigilantes or just people that have stumbled
But
into
that's
like
a
some
big
random
deal,
accidents
is
because
what
what
I'm
happened.
saying. People being
Right.
born
It
with
is a
powers
big
is like
deal.
a big deal, and the fact that no one that's not ever been a thing, like that's no one's mentioned, like Magneto
Right.
and Charles. How old do you think they would be in the?
Well, would you have
they're, like,
rather
in their
than just
40s?
name drop Charles and Magneto in the movie? You
Yes,
know, I'm like,
and then just leave it at that.
oh,
Boom,
come on,
done.
you're crazy.
No,
You're
no,
nuts.
that would
No.
be so
You're nuts. You're
terrible.
nuts.
No,
I'm
here's
going
what's
to
gonna
Because
happen.
if that would have
Here's what's
happened,
gonna
he would have.
happen.
Hold
Look,
on, here's
look,
the
look,
thing.
look, look,
If that
here,
would have
look, look.
happened, Luis would have been like, why the fuck did they just say those names out of nowhere?
Yeah,
and just
exactly.
shoehorn them in and just
You would
throw them in like, no, I
The
think
way
No,
the way
I
it's
think
gonna be done
one-
is
I think
exactly
you
how I
to have
texted
no
y'all.
cake and also eat the
I
cake.
think-
Like
no,
there's
I
no
think-
there's no
I think
way.
you guys are misunderstanding
win.
I think you guys are misunderstanding what my gripe is. I love
AZ,
Gene's
bro.
introduction. I love the introduction of the X-Men into the MCU. I'm just thinking about it like from a purely logistical standpoint. I'm just like, it doesn't make sense because Charles and Magneto are how old? They've been
Bro,
around for how long? Before
Okay,
before
but-
Tony was Iron Man. You would canonically you would think from a timeline wise. So how the fuck? So when Tony's like, I'm Iron Man, people are like, this is the
Okay.
greatest fucking thing of all time.
hear
It's
me
like,
out. Hear me out.
The
Think
30
about
to
it like
20
this.
years
Think about
that
it like
Magneto
Bro,
this.
and
Luis,
Charles
look at it like this.
fucking-
Look at it like this.
Wait,
Look at it like this. Let me get my
Or
soapbox.
Charles is 15 years old when
Let me-
Tony reveals
No.
to be Iron Man.
Because look at it like this. If you see a world where all these things are coming up, and you know the world we live in, people fear what they don't understand.
Yeah.
Mutant powers are something that are not understood in the MCU
Mind you,
thus
Captain
far.
America already existed. So
That's
did the
not a
Red
mutant.
Guardian.
That's a nigga with
No,
steroids at
but
on a
superpower-
basic level.
But
on a
superpowered
basic level.
beings have existed since the
40s,
40s.
30s.
Yeah, but
And
guess-
before,
yeah,
yeah.
but
Right.
look, that's a
But then
government.
look
That's
at
a
it this way.
government.
Look at this. Like, yeah,
That's a
and like I was
government
saying, Louis,
thing. Like
this
look,
is-
it's like
this
like
is
a nigga
trying to
named Bob
find-
walking down the street. All of a sudden, he fucking levitates a car. You see a neighbor Bob that you have class with. Like, bro, this shit is up. It's
Century?
up close in
you're
front of you.
confused as fuck. And also you got to think about it like this, right? Back to that like needle analogy I was doing, right? There's a needle in a haystack right now. The MCU and every single person with fucking powers at this point where we are in the universe
Big ass
is just
haystack.
trying to find one specific haystack in a
Mhm.
stack of other haystacks. Like it's fucking impossible. It's fucking
Inside
impossible.
one haystack.
Me,
major
no
haystack.
schmo, would not know anything. Me, regular nigga number 3, I'm not gonna know. Damage Control
I'm not
has an
regular,
inkling,
nigga.
but they've only started
I'm a
trying to
real
get
nigga.
into that distinction, and they don't know how to separate what's happening from what's happening.
I understand. I'm just saying, and look, maybe once Doomsday comes out and then Secret Wars and they reboot the whole fucking thing, it won't fucking matter because this
He won't
timeline.
admit that he's looking too deep into
No.
this.
What I'm
I
saying
think
is
you're
that
overthinking it. Yeah.
what I know. What I'm saying is that it won't fucking matter
I
because
know.
come Secret Wars, the whole shit's gonna get rebooted, so it doesn't fucking matter when they introduce the X-Men. It's just like
the X-Men that they just announced the cast of are going to be the ones we see standing
For
with
now
Jean
on.
Grey, Sadie Sink. I know. Promise you. So what's going to happen is when the world gets built, like this is all like we might see some of the X-Men. I just don't think so. I think we're going to focus on the Fox ones, see them die, and then
that's what Doomsday is. Yeah.
Like Secret Wars.
You need to get rid of the old Charles before you establish
I don't think
the new
we're going to
one.
get to see the X-Mansion that she's riding the bus up to
That's
after Secret Wars.
Graham, thank you. That's exactly where she's going because they're going to upstate New York. But
no. Guys, I understand this. I understand.
With the
we're not going to see the X-Men until after Secret Wars. I get that.
And wait.
The thing with the X-Men, Jean in our main timeline MCU. So where the fuck is everybody?
What I will say,
my thing is that she is the most powerful mutant.
Look at how what's his name Metzger is operating right now. Look at how Metzger's operating right now. He's trying to take that power and use it for nefarious purposes. If you have someone like Charles Xavier, one of the greatest telepaths in the world, who can essentially look at how Stryker was operating in X2, took that power and turned it against mutants, or turned it against you. How you want to have those applications? Someone like Wolverine, I'm sure they're going to do this. Wolverine's probably going to be somewhere in a Department of Corrections facility, sideways Weapon X program type shit, and they're going to be like, okay, look, we got this guy who regenerates, got fucking claws. We're going to turn to do some shit with that. Like, just think about how WMAX.
No, I 100% get that too, but I'm thinking back to the introduction. Like, I think of all X-Men to introduce, Jean is the best because she is the most powerful mutant. Not only with the Phoenix Force, but by
herself. She's an Omega level threat. And it also sets up the need for them to be like, look, these motherfuckers are out of control. They're too powerful. What do we do?
Exactly.
It's going to set up Stryker and the Purifiers.
Well, and the problem is, I think
as we go into to like get us back like focused on like the beginning, middle, and end of the movie, we're getting like near like the climax and like the conclusion of the film. So at a certain point in the film, right, she not only possesses MJ and has her pretend like she knows Peter again.
Crazy scene.
That scene is God.
Insane.
Terrible.
My new white homie that told him to shut the fuck up with the light, he just went, God damn, dude, what the fuck, man? Like I was at that point, I was like,
so I have a theory too. I have a theory too that if he would have kissed MJ when she wasn't mind controlled by Jean, she would have remembered on the spot. Because him and Ned at the end, when they do their handshake, it's all muscle memory. And by touch, he like that barrier broke. I 100% think that if that wasn't Jean, she would have remembered right then.
I saw a theory that said that at the end, whenever Jean freezes everybody, you see how MJ is crying.
It unlocked the memories.
It unlocked all her memories, and she has them from that moment forward, but decides not to say or do anything to kind of like protect that.
Maybe I think of it as that she's been controlled by Jean before, and that she didn't like the feeling of it, and she's just like, "Oh shit, not this
sexual
again."
Abuse allegory.
Yeah. And also, but I feel like that scene's really good for like the emotion. And when we end up getting a payoff later, when we find out there's a damage control building that's been like completely obliterated and somebody's running through it, but it's not Scorpion this time. No, brother, it's far fucking worse. It's the goddamn Hulk. And he comes out with this stupid deep fake fucking Mark Ruffalo face, and I was like, oh yay, more talking Hulk.
No,
whoop-de-doo.
bro.
And then
I thought the Hulk was great when he said,
no, Matt. There's more. Let me finish my thought.
You skipped over the whole MJ and Peter in the bunker.
Peter?
Yeah. So right. So at this point, he realizes that MJ is in danger. So he takes her to the only person that he can figure out would help him in this scenario, and that's Frank Castle, the Punisher. So he takes MJ over to Frank Castle, where he's hiding out in like this abandoned shipyard, dodges all these traps and stuff, and you get these really great scenes of rapport between between
No.
Spider-Man and Frank that are really great. You get the reestablishment of how the Punisher operates on like avenging his family via when MJ goes to the cabinet and points out his family photos and he's like, "Don't you fucking touch those!" Right? And we get these sweet moments where Peter's saying, you know, there's no Mrs. Spider-Man or like no family or friends or anything, but he did used to have somebody, but he had to let them go.
Those scenes worked so well.
And
between MJ
and they're so
and
beautiful. Like the one of him behind the curtain while he's tinkering away, still putting up that literal and physical and metaphorical wall between them, that barrier, keeping her at arm's length. And when he goes out to once again try to fight Jean, right? Try to like track her down and help with the damage control facility. He encounters the Hulk. Right.
Hold on. Let me mention real quick the interaction between him and Frank when he goes into like after the booby traps and like kind of mentioning Staten Island. I think one good storytelling bit is that they didn't exactly tell us what the fuck happened in Staten Island. We just know that like somehow, some way, Spider-Man saved Frank and he was probably gonna fucking die. And now like that interaction between them is peak. It's perfect. I love them.
It's a great way to build
computer, make them kiss.
Oh yeah,
computer.
That would have been peak. That would have been even better. But that's like the perfect way to establish like a relationship between them. You don't have to say anything. Just there's just one thing. There's something that happened that they both understand, and because of that, Frank is kind of forced. Fuck. Okay, I gotta help this kid out because of that thing that happened that nobody knows about. We don't have to explain
it. It also helps gel the greater MCU. These characters are interacting because, like we said way earlier, like what the fuck is Daredevil doing? Well, Frank is out here fucking around in Staten Island. Peter was there, like, hey, I'm gonna save this nigga life. Whatever. So I like that they're starting to connect these characters more so outside of just the major team up movies, which is something we really need moving forward. I need to see more of this in
it just MCU works projects. Best with Spider-Man,
like the way
he's local, and I think just introducing people in general
in New York. There's so many fucking heroes in New York.
That and just in a Spider-Man movie in general, like
also Spider-Man is if you look through like even like his cartoon history, right? There was a lot of guest stars in the 90s animated series. You even had a show called Spider-Man and His Amazing Friends with Firestar and Iceman, right? That also guest stars, right? Like Spider-Man is he can stand on his own, but he's also great for team-ups for elevating other characters, which is why I think it's also a stroke of genius in order to, as like a sort of back issue imprint, kind of soft launch the X-Men through this, which is a really good idea. It's Spider-Man. People are going to have eyes on it, and then you're going to put as many eyes as possible in X-Men. And so you get these great scenes of rapport between him and MJ and him and Frank. And when he goes out to the damage control facility and he finds out that it's the fucking Hulk, right? MJ's like, you got to go help him. He helped you at Staten Island. This is your chance to get back at him for Staten Island, right? And Frank's also kind of like, yeah, I'll have something over on the kid. Actually, that's a good idea. I'll do that. I'm going to go do it. And when this man is about to like beat the brakes off the Spider-Man, right when he's about to like beat the dog shit out of him and hit him with the full fucking puny god combo, Frank just walks in just going, making gorilla noises, just fucking bag dumping HMG rounds into him. And I'm like,
the slow-mo shot of him pulling Frank underneath, bro.
That shit was sick, bro.
I don't think you mentioned really like certain shots, but dude, that's one of just probably 30 shots in this movie that are just mind-blowing, and that's what the fuck we want to see.
You remember in the Bayverse Transformers in the first one, whenever Lennox slides on his back and is shooting at fucking whatever Decepticon, Starscream. Sorry, my mind gone right now. He's shooting at Star. I was like, that's the shit it gave me. I was like, bro, Michael Bay, the blueprint.
Even in I think it's during that damage control sequence with the tank, when the tank bursts through the wall at the beginning. When you see him not only try to secure the tank, but make like a really like thin web line to clothesline that entire group of people and move them out of the way. I was like, oh my god, he's back. My goat.
It's incredible. The little tiny, like obviously the web slinging, but like those kind of shots like that, and when he's sliding under the tank,
so dynamic.
They almost like it's perfect in that, and it really showed it when the Hulk started chasing him down the tunnel right before he does the thunderclap, like how he's going in and out, like and down that tunnel. bro, one of my best favorite things about this movie is that it shows Spider-Man like full speed. Spider-Man's fast as fuck, boy. And
Agile
you
as
really
fuck,
start,
boy.
like once he dives down that tunnel, you
Fast
really
as
kind of
fuck,
start
boy.
to see it. One next thing, the thunderclap, welcome back.
Yeah,
Yes.
Like,
Fire.
bro,
Fire.
10 out of 10. This Hulk, like the 10 seconds we got in
Also-
this is the best Hulk we've seen in like 15 years.
Since
It's
the
insane.
Incredible Hulk.
But when
Age
he-
of Ultron. Age of Ultron was the last
Age of Ultron. Yeah,
Yes.
that's
Shut
This is
up.
and this
true.
is
That is
this is
true.
the savage. This is a savage Hulk that we've been needing
But
because we don't need that. Like, look, I get it. It works. for the
Professor Hulk is
story,
cool,
blah blah
but
blah.
like
It
He's
is
lame.
it though? Is it
Lame.
though?
no,
Lame.
And shit.
fuck
Even,
no.
I'll even give
No,
them.
listen,
I'll even give them
what I'm-
Ragnarok. I'll give them Ragnarok because
He
that one was still
lame,
pretty
he
pretty
lame.
okay.
Yeah. When he does when he like ties him to the building and he like
Mhm.
goes in and out of the windows,
Shit was
and
sick,
it's almost
bro.
like
Fire, bro.
you can tell he's gaining momentum.
Mhm.
And he's so strong that he's holding the Hulk up against a building, and like it just, dude, it shows you that Spider-Man
And-
really can go toe to toe. Like, part of me is kind of sad that I'm still getting Hulk beat down by somebody else. But if anyone's gonna do it, it's either Spider-Man or
I
Wolverine.
mean,
Spider-Man.
the MCU's power scaling is all kinds of fucked because
It's
For
everywhere.
sure.
It's
There's-
everywhere.
there's-
But
everybody.
you
people that are
do
much
get that
weaker than their comic book counterparts for sure.
he is still fucking up Spider-Man, and like I think that's a testament in itself, especially Spider-Man at this point. Like he's pretty fucking strong in this movie, and bro, the Hulk's back. And
I was gonna
he's
say, but
like,
I think it's also a cool way to humanize the Hulk, right? He's the only one who remembers Pete and
And look at the
Bingo,
way.
right?
Look at the.
Bingo.
Yep. That exactly.
yep. I
at
wish
the
they
way
would. I
he-
wish he would have just said it. All we
Banner
needed was-
forget. Hulk.
Yeah,
remember
Hulk, no,
Bugman.
forget.
Shut the, y'all should not be writing this shit.
Yeah,
bro.
no shit. You're right. You're
Banner
right.
forget
Hulk remember Bugman.
Hulk, no forget. It's dead ass in
No,
the
bro,
comics,
no.
bro. It's dead ass in the comics.
That is, yeah. But
Is
the
it?
way they
that
did it in the
happens
movie-
like post
It's in the comics.
Yeah,
That's
like
what I thought
post,
they were gonna do.
I think
This ain't the comics.
it's
brother.
like post
Luis not no panel for real.
It's
He don't
post
know panel.
post
I
One
know.
More Day, right? He has that
Mhm.
moment with the Hulk where he's like Hulk no forget friend, Banner forget,
God.
won't forget, but Hulk no forget.
Hulk
and I'm
no-
like,
yup.
oh, that's so.
We
That's
didn't
so
need all that. I
One More
thought the
Day
way they
is
did it-
what they did for fucking No Way Home anyway. So
Right.
we might as well go ahead and go that
Yeah.
route to
But
begin
him
with.
and they
kinda
already
recognizing-
kind of have it show in his face.
Yeah.
Like he sees it, you see it in his eyes where he's like,
Yeah, we get it.
Bugman friend.
If you're not,
They
if
did
you're
it-
not
they
blind
did
or
it
stupid,
without
you
doing it.
understood the scene. Yeah.
They did it.
Yeah.
Yeah, they did it without doing it word for word. He said, Banner, Dr. Banner, Bruce, it's me. I'm your friend. And Hulk just kind of looks like, oh shit, this is my homie.
Oh,
I'm
shit, I
sorry.
know
And he
him.
falls off the
Let me
fucking building.
let myself
And-
go. Yeah.
I want to say that
I
this
know
has
this
been one of
nigga.
the best reintroductions to the Hulk because for so long he has been getting bitched by everybody. But then seeing him not only
True.
get webbed to the building, but then have all those pieces of the building still attached to him, and he just still keeps walking forward. I was
Yeah.
like, oh my God, we're back. My God.
It's
Yeah.
why, it's why this movie's so good and it works is because it's like, oh, it's all those moments you had whenever you had your action figures and you're just making your favorite characters fight each other, like it just fucking
Yeah.
rip. But anyway, we can start
And
getting
I
through
like
Gene.
how they.
So Jean gets captured
Yeah,
by
so
damage
Jean-
control. We figure out that they're
Yes.
trying to experiment on her, that they killed her sister by experimenting on her and pushing her to her limits to the point where she died. This then pushes Jean to kind of like lose her shit, and they kind of like what's it called? Fast track her mutation. Now she's not only a telepath, she's telekinetic.
But telekinetic.
Bro, this and she just has this like and while this is going on, Pete finally made it through the save. He has to fight the fucking hand, right? Because turns out
Oh,
the hand is evil and they're working with damage
They
control.
pulled a Cecil. He pulled a fucking Cecil. You
Bro,
can't control
and
the villain. Stop trying to hire these
That
niggas.
shit,
They don't need
that shit
W2s.
pissed me
Give them a
off so
sentence.
bad.
No, he did that
I
on
think-
purpose. But that's part of what shows you that damage control is bad. Is that he's like, oh no,
Oh yeah.
we turn these guys. They're good. They work for us now.
I think
This
also
really evil organization.
well, and it's part of
Given-
like they
given
have the
the-
non-Spider-Man weapons.
Mhm.
The hand are probably the closest people that can stop Spider-Man in New York. Honestly,
Also,
I
I
think
really,
with,
I really did.
them and
the thing
Pete.
that pissed me off about the hand.
Uh-huh. Sorry.
That's why Spider-Man never entered Houston. I see it.
That's right. He knows better.
Real quick, I just wanted to say I think it does kind of piss me off that we get this build. Like for those of, if you're not plugged in, obviously you don't know, but for those of us who are plugged in, who are aware, seeing how the hand operated through all of Daredevil and the implications of that moving forward into even Daredevil Born Again, I'm like, oh, what the fuck are we doing? DODC, what is this shit? Department of Damage Control. I feel like it does not that it cheapens their existence. And like you said, it makes them okay. These niggas evil. The DODC is clearly a bad organization.
Yeah, but Spider-Man stopped him. I think is kind of the point.
Yeah. And I mean, like, does that mean that do we at some point we get a resurgence of them between?
Well, they're not. That's not all. That's not all the hand. Those motherfuckers that were at the department. I think it's just
it's some of them. But
it's there to be like, look at this really cool comic. This comic cover.
Yes, that's what it is. And it was the coolest fight in the whole fucking movie.
And it ties into Daredevil. Like that's all it is. It's like, what's a cool way?
Yeah, will never be on the same screen.
Ninjas. Oh, okay.
Even got
guess who has ninjas?
What you call me?
Daredevil. And it's like, oh, Daredevil, that's set in New York.
Atlanta.
That's all it was. I don't think it cheapens the hand. I don't think it does anything. Just the way to.
And what I really liked about the hand, right, is that in the opening sequence where it showed that Spider-Man fought them at some point when it pays homage to that comic book cover, right? And then in addition, where it was like, oh yeah, Damage Control hired the hand. They work for us now. They just needed guidance, right? Which I didn't believe for a goddamn seconds of the fucking hand. But that aside. I was like, oh, we're gonna get to see them fight at some point. And then when it started getting towards the end of the movie, I had completely forgotten about them.
Yeah.
And then when it got into the jail cell, which by the way, the introduction to that scene is great, where he's like, I'm not in high school anymore.
Yes.
You stretch, you big stretcher. Stretching's good.
Spider-Man.
And those moves he was doing in that fight, like, bro,
that was my favorite scene. That was my favorite fight of the movie.
Yeah, honestly,
when he webs the dude up by his foot. Like by the back of his heel and like webs him up in the air and then just drop kicks him on the fucking dome back down to the ground. I was like,
oh yeah, this is Spider-Man PS4. Like, they stole.
Oh yeah, his combat is immaculate, and with good reason, with good fucking reason. Because my God, it's beautiful. His dodges are immaculate, and then when he finally gets to the cell, which by the way. The scene of Jean snapping is so well done. I love that scene so much because she's strapped to the chair and she's absolutely tweaking out of her mind. She's like, I'll never find my sister. My sister was killed by these people and I still don't know what VMAX is. What the fuck? And then she looks up and sees that VMAX is literally just the last bit of the faded paint on the brand of the air vent that her sister saw before she died. And that psychic distance that was reached out was literally just like a death rattle of her consciousness. And finally figuring out not only has she become a monster to where she's killed innocent people, because she's been the whole time justifying this to herself. If I get my sister, it'll be worth it. I just want my sister back. And everything she's worked for up until this point to save her entire world is gone and has just been one giant Herculean task for nothing. And then she snaps. I'm like, oh,
my coolest.
Yes.
My favorite
great payoff.
I mentioned this to Matt.
I love that.
Instagram as well. I think one of my favorite shots in the entire MCU period is after she has her big explosion, after she has like this kind of telekinetic blast, right? Which is what freezes everybody in time. And she kind of like explodes, and she explodes this kind of like chamber that she's in, this like testing little room that she's in. There's a scene, it's a wide shot. Boom. Jean is right here. Bill is over here. And she telekinetically drags him across the entire screen slowly. But she's just like dragging him.
Feet dangling.
Like, bro, I was like, oh, my fuck.
Remember in X3 when they did the same shit with Charles before they evaporated him? Same shit.
This looks
better.
Sick,
this was
bro.
better. It's not made by Freakazoid Brian Singer.
And I love the way that like during that shot, he's not just like pulled in fast as fuck like Charles was. Like it's slow and deliberate.
She's dragging his ass.
To know what he's about to do. What and
the nigga.
And I love how Frank can't see like the telepathic field, right? But he sees all these people frozen, and he's like, I ain't going in there. That's above my pay grade.
Yeah.
I fight a red nigga with a leather fetish, bro. This is not my bracket, bro. This is not
Small
me.
potatoes.
I was boxing the
Small
Hulk an hour
potatoes.
ago.
Yeah.
I'm getting to my potatoes, bro. And when he got on the roof with that sniper, I was like,
yeah. So Frank gets to the roof. He's trying to kill.
Whoa,
Gene
hold on.
This.
We got like Peter finally. Like she's talking to Peter, you know, kind of taunting him still, and he finally has that line where she's like, "Are you Peter Parker or are you Spider-Man?" And he's like, "I'm both," and like goes Super Saiyan. That's when like he goes from regular to like he snaps into black, and then once he kicks their ass, saves the guy from like getting on the pole. His organic webs go through the anti-spider web thing, and bro, he just locks in and. My favorite shot now in the MCU is him spiraling down.
Yes, with the webs, like
the webs
where he's spinning them.
He's like, but then he goes back up.
Oh my god,
bro! Yeah, that shit right there. That shit right there is peak Spider-Man, bro.
Point where he grabs the sword of one of the hand members and just flips it to the side and breaks it in half. I was like, that's where that was. It was at that moment.
The hammer to the arm, and he's just like. I can do that. Like
that was the moment where I locked in, where I was like, this is Spider-Man. They've nerfed him before. Now he's strong, right? Because even earlier in the beginning, right when he was struggling to rip that door off the tank, I was like, I feel like Spider-Man should be able to do that pretty fast.
Yeah,
right. But when he embraces his animalistic nature, right? Embraces who he is, that dichotomy, that he's both Peter Parker and Spider-Man, that he's not the old Peter Parker, he's not the old Spider-Man, things aren't going to go back to the way that it used to be, and that he has to blaze a path forward, that you have to move on.
That's what I liked about that scene, is
right?
That is like a visual and kind of like little representation of like who this guy is as a character, right? He's fucking up the hand. There's all this cool shit. He embraces that, like, I am different. I'm embracing everything that makes me different.
Well, he throws away the web shooters, which I think has been an allegory this whole time.
They kind of got destroyed.
He's been holding on to this past, and like they sliced and diced him, but that's finally
because now he's got his organic.
Now he's got to do it. Like now it's him, and he has to finally like accept that.
So you have that, and then you have quickly, boom, he busts through the gate, goes to Jean. She's about to kill Bill, and then this is like why he's such an Kill Bill. This is why he's such an incredible character, because now you get Peter doing what he does best, which is to just be like a great human being, like a great guy. You're just talking to her. She's like, I'm no jutsu. Yeah, she's like, I'm gonna kill him. Like they've done so much wrong. He's like, I understand, I get it, but like, look into my mind. I'm ready. Like, look into my mind and see what you find. And if you don't have anybody,
you have me. Yep,
I'll always be here. And then she goes into his mind. She sees Aunt May. A speech that Aunt May gave Peter about, like
I cried. I'm not gonna lie.
What was the speech about? Basically, it was basically about
you have all this power.
You have all this power, and you're not different. You're still you. You're still a good person.
You're still you.
You're going through all this hardship and all these changes. Just remember who you are at the end of the day. Yeah. Don't smoke niggas because you're angry.
Exactly. And then
smoke them if they deserve it.
Just as Gene's starting to figure out, wow, I don't have to do this. I can be a better person. I can be bigger. Frank shoots his sniper from
switching down,
trying to kill Gene. And
mind that Spider-Man is still under control too.
Yeah,
so he jumps and saves her because he's just him.
He's him.
And bro, I'm not gonna lie. I was convinced he was cooked. I thought he was cooked.
I thought he was toast, bro. But then I remembered. No, he's gonna be in fucking Secret Wars. That's all you're like. Nah,
I thought the post-credit scene was gonna be VMAX slithering into his grave and resurrecting him.
VMAX.
But yeah, so then Peter jumped in front of the bullet. He takes the bullet for Jean. He's like, "Go." She's like, "No, I got it." He's like, "Go. I'll be fine. You need to get out of here." She leaves.
Yeah, he said, "Go talk to Charles, bitch. Leave me alone."
And then Frank comes and rescues him. He's like, "Oh, I'm sorry.
Oh, Red. I'm sorry, Red. I didn't mean to shoot you, Red. It's not okay."
He takes him to the hospital. Peter gets better. That entire time he's been in a coma. Jean has been in his mind, kind of keeping him alive.
From a far distance, the 33-foot radius doesn't matter anymore.
And I think that's helping. Also, like we probably already mentioned this earlier, so forgive me if I'm repeating. It does help show how powerful mutants are moving forward into the future of the MCU, because Jean is not the only Omega level mutant, the only Class 5 Omega level mutant. Obviously, we got Charles, we got Storm, Magneto, my goat,
Iceman, the greatest Omega level of all time, brother.
Who's only going to get 10 minutes of screen time and get fried.
No,
you know, they're
that's
gonna
what
do
they need
exactly
to
that.
fix. If
You know exactly
they need
what
to
they're gonna
fix
do.
that, they need to stop doing my boy so dirty, bro.
I'm telling
my
you.
nigga Bobby deserves better, bro. That's fucking heinous. Bobby.
I think that does help. That does help lead into our bit of a sideways news block about how Marvel
this is
doing this. We gotta finish this.
I know. I'm saying that's something something we'll discuss here in a little bit, because we're gonna discuss how Marvel's kind of making some moves that are a little bit questionable.
What's very interesting about that scene where Spider-Man gets shot is the reason I thought he was going to die is because that is the lead up to how he dies in the Ultimate Spider-Man comic. Somebody's trying to shoot Captain America, right? I believe it's Punisher for some reason.
Yes, it is Punisher. In Civil War.
He's trying to shoot Captain America. No. That's Crossbones in Civil War.
Sorry, the Ultimate Universe. My bad.
Yeah.
I'm over here crossing the wrong comic.
Take his card. Put your card.
You didn't even know. Nah. You didn't even know. Nah. I got Civil War right there on my desk.
I caught this.
Show it.
I caught this. Look, in the Ultimate Universe, there's a point where
y'all
during
not
the
real
death of Spider-Man, it was the Ultimate Universe, which then leads into Miles Morales, right? Also, Matt that looks like you, but
the Halloween costume soon.
Just the black trench coat and glasses, but
and probably one of them motherfucker. That's easy.
In the Ultimate Universe, right? The way that Spider-Man dies that leads into Miles Morales taking over the flag is that he takes a bullet for somebody else, right? And which then leads to MJ crashing a truck into Goblin and the rest of his rogues, basically, in order to distract them, which then helps Peter get the upper hand. But, he dies succumbing to his injuries from both the battle and the bullet wound, right? And the directors have stated specifically, like, they are trying to go for homage to that moment, right? That's why I was like, oh, fuck. Oh, we're just doing it. Like, we're going to kill him off. He got a fourth movie like no other Spider-Man did, and we're just going to boom him. All right, cool. But then I remembered, money. We like that, so we're not doing that. Nope. But the audience then, not the audience. I read Matt's text message. I said the audience. But then the film, starts winding down.
Take it long.
You have Peter in the audience, in the hospital, right? And he's been kept alive by Jean Grey subconsciously, and you have this really beautiful bonding moment between him and John Bernthal's Punisher that's really fun.
Incredible.
Because they've had it where he's like, I got you back from Staten Island. And he's like, you shot me, Frank. And he's like, yeah, that's my bad. That's my bad.
But not only that, he's like, this is the most emotion Frank's ever showed. This is the most human he's ever been. And that's what I really like about the interpretation of it. It's like, this is the best. This is the best version of Frank we've gotten, and it's because he's so fucking human. Like, I understand
he's nuanced. He's two-dimensional.
Yes, I understand John Bernthal's kind of like need for wanting to make him such a dark and twisted character, but it's like, hey, humanizing him really works, brother, and it's like that's all you need. But yeah, that scene was great. The ending of it was great.
And you get like New York, they show out for Spider-Man and cheer him on in the hospital, and so Peter walks out, just like normal with no costume on because no one knows who the fuck he is, and he's beat the fuck up. And so before people can connect those dots, you see Frank has the Spider-Man mask and gloves on, and he's like cheered from the window. And his gorilla grunts for fucking fried. He was like, you.
So good.
And he just goes on with the rest of his life, and he even finds Ned in a cafe, and Ned remembers him, and that's how the movie ends. And
no, he doesn't remember him. He remembers the handshake.
No, he remembers Peter. He called him Peter. Ian, you have to think, Ned's magical. Ned can cast spells.
Ned has magic.
But here's what I don't understand. MJ told Ned, he was like, what's it? She said, Peter, be careful or something like that before he goes off to fight that last battle.
Right.
And then Ned's like, what did you say? What's his name? And she's like, his name is Peter. He's like, Spider-Man's name is Peter?
Because he doesn't remember.
I know, but then at the end, when Peter's like, he's meeting him, and Ned's like, "Oh, you're the guy from the party. Yeah. What's your name?" And he says, "Oh, my name's Peter." He's like, "Oh, hi, Peter." I was like, "What the fuck, bitch? How are you not connecting these dots?"
Yeah,
okay. I think
that's what Graham said earlier. The muscle memory of the handshake. Because if you don't remember anything at all, and you start dapping the motherfucker up, and you just know the handshake off rip, something's got to start connecting right there.
Yeah, because they also didn't do the handshake while he was Spider-Man.
True.
Mm-hmm.
So that's more of a definite sign he's connected the dots.
I would think that's
back
to what Graham said too about if Peter had kissed MJ, like if it wasn't Jean mind controlling her and they actually kissed, she would have been like, "Holy shit, I remember you." Something, it's fuzzy, but I remember you. You know, something along those lines. Anyways.
And then and then before we wrap up, we just forgot to mention a couple of scenes. There's a scene in the middle where Pete as Spidey is hanging out with Ned and MJ, and that's just like a really beautiful.
It's very beautiful.
Yeah.
It's very well done.
It's the most fun Pete's had in years. He's getting along wonderfully with Ned, and you're just like, yeah, these are best friends. They're building Legos. They're fucking quoting Lord of the Rings to each other. MJ standing back, kind of like
nerds, dude.
Can I some bitches? Some bitches to each other. How about that?
I'll even say that it's the most like them scene in all of the films, because in the first one you're establishing Peter's trying to understand high school and all that shit and balance being an Avenger. MJ's not really a big player as far as their relationship and that friendship's mainly Ned and Peter. Second film, we're building on that, but there's still a little bit of distance as far as they're not really anything. They're not together. It's still the Ned and Peter show. Third film, obviously they're together. Peter, they're obviously together. And that shit is like, okay, we've been in a relationship for 2 weeks. Now I'm gonna erase my fucking memory of you, and it's gone. This is the most Ned, Peter, MJ friend group bonding. Like it's building on those emotional notes that we really need in this type of film. Because the issue, like I said, the issue I had with the first 3 films, they're not really Spider-Man films. They're not. The emotion is there. The emotion is definitely there, but it's not a.
The intent is there, but it's not executed well.
There's that, and then there's also. And then there's also wanted to mention the MJ Peter scene on
the roof
in Frank's bunker.
Yes,
where he comes back and she finds his note. She's like, "Did you want me to find this? I read it." And he's like, "Yeah." And at the end of No Way Home, he says, "I love," and she's like, "Tell me when you find me again." And so he tells her, "I love you," and she's like, "I don't remember you. I don't know you.
I
don't know you."
That shit fucking fried me.
Exactly.
That shit killed me.
But
my white homie next to me were fucked up.
But that just came. But those 2 moments are part of the reason why this movie's so incredible and why I like this movie so much. Because it's like, damn. Because despite all the adversity that Peter is facing in his personal life, he still goes out there and he's like, I'm going to be the best person I can and help as many people as I can and just try to do the best, try to do as much good as possible, despite the fact that his life is falling apart. His life is going to shit. He's got nothing to look forward to. His girl left him. She fucking on somebody else in front of him. His best friend doesn't remember him. Money short. He broke. Also, Pete, loyal as fuck, because there was a baddie that was trying to holler at him at his apartment. She said, we live on the same floor. He said, cool. I was like, God damn. He said, bye. He said,
see ya.
Blinders on. He said, I'm not a milk merchant. Sorry.
The baller, he's like, I've dipped my toe. I've had the Jollof. I've been changed.
I can't go back.
I can't. I just discovered Lauren. I can't go back to the mayo.
Brother, when you think of Lauren Harrier and Zendaya,
he kind of Pete got he got a type.
He got a type. And it ain't ugly girls. We'll leave it at that.
It ain't ugly. It ain't ugly.
It ain't ugly.
My boy, what's that line where it's like, Mr. Parker, you dip it in the chocolate again, and it's just a smile. Fucking ripped.
But yeah, fucking banger, bro. Great movie.
Yeah, this is definitely, and we've said it before. I know Doomsday is months away. I still think this is automatically better than Doomsday. I don't care.
Oh, 1,000%.
I'm sorry.
This actually, even though it's a new trilogy,
is this gonna fuck it up for Doomsday? How good?
Yes,
I think so. I think so.
Yes.
Here's the thing, right?
I think story-wise, it's not gonna. It's just not gonna be able to hit it. It's just not. It's not.
Yeah.
There's not gonna be the connection.
Yeah.
I have to get off, fellas.
Me too, brother.
Oh yeah.
Gotta wrap this up.
Let's go ahead and end the episode with one last thing. Spider-Man, one last thing. Marvel has a decision to make right now, moving forward with their films. Obviously, we've talked about how they need to get better as far as making the stories good, production quality, longevity, all that shit, connectivity, all of it. But there's also a glaring issue of allegations of racism. And it's not even allegations at this point. It's a little bit obvious, bro. We got Marvel comics, bro. Like, what are we doing? Canceling? Like, we keep talking about how they're gonna lead up to Miles Morales. I don't see Miles getting in this MCU if Marvel continues this path they're going on.
Yeah,
is this
Miles Morales played by Timothée Chalamet?
Get the fuck out!
Ryan
Gosling. I will boom myself in the theater. Directed by Sean.
Noah Centineo as Miles Morales.
Gosling missed out on Black Panther, so he's gonna get.
Now they're gonna make him Blade because they want to give it to Mahershala.
Oh my god!
Yeah, Ghost Rider. They said he's in Ghost Rider, but he's not as Ghost Rider. It's somebody else. It's Blade.
But you are right in the fact that Marvel seems to be doing this weird thing, minus like the announcement of like the new Black Panther casting, which God knows when that's ever gonna get off the ground for anything worthwhile. But like they canceled Blade, they fucking shoved Ironheart off into the fucking great beyond, like just into the pasture and said, "Go behind the shed. We don't want to see you."
Too.
Also got canceled, and Wonder Man got canceled. I'm not saying. Listen, Kevin. Look, I'm trying to give you the benefit of the doubt, bro, but you make it hard, dog.
Look, if it walks, I'm gonna tell him this in our next team's chat. If it walks like a duck, quacks like a duck, what the fuck animal you think it is? A goat? Nigga, it's a duck.
A racist
fucking duck. And I think Marvel needs to get their shit together. Stop pandering to the right wing. Stop pandering to fascism. You know who your base is. Comics are inherently left wing. Comics are very progressive. Comics are inclusive. That's what these movies need to portray. And I need to see people who look like us on the screen.
Mm-hmm.
You do not need to start sidestepping to pander to a minority group of fucking racist chuds who live in their basement who don't even know the first thing about comics to begin with. Let's start.
What do you mean, brother? Have you ever wondered? Maybe if you ask Comics Explain.
Coon, we don't talk about him.
Coon makes explain
drivers.
Coon, get the fuck out.
Fuck that nigga. No. Hell no. Fuck Rob, bro.
Anyways, come to Ebonics Explain where we talk about real shit. It's just.
No, but I do think honestly, like there is, I do think that is kind of like crazy. You know, the fact that they're not platforming and showcasing like the black characters, and that is a problem. That is, you know. How do you have Mahershala Ali and you go through multiple directors? He came to you and said, "I want to make B Blade," and he's a 2-time Oscar winner.
Bro.
He never gets made. But Sean fucking Levy and Ryan fucking Gosling say, "I want to do Ghost Rider." Okay, bet. That's ridiculous. That's absurd.
And on top of that, like you had him already show his chops for what he can do for Marvel in Luke Cage, where he plays Cottonmouth and he's fucking immaculate.
Insane.
He's cracked out of his mind, right? And you have a generational talent like that, and you're like, well, we could make this, or we could just dick around and have him waste his time and pay rent by making Leave the Shit Behind on Netflix. Like, no, bro, let my man cook.
It's because Mahershala Ali only wanted a Muslim director to direct.
I don't believe that.
That feels like propaganda. That feels like propaganda.
Smear campaign.
That's smear as fuck. That's smear as fuck.
That's just a crazy.
On, bro. And also, even if he did want,
if he wanted a Muslim director, aren't Bilal and Adil, are they Muslim?
Yeah, I think so.
And
they just came off the success of Bad Boys.
And on top of that, even if you wanted a Muslim director, you're telling me you couldn't find one Muslim director, but you found a deaf, mute, handicapped amputee to play Echo. Y'all could find a unicorn for casting, but you couldn't find a nigga at a mosque with a film degree. Really?
Disgusting.
Cool. I'm just saying.
That's crazy.
One part of the other, but that's crazy. That's just me. Hey, man. Whatever.
Anyways,
Fuck it.
Brand new
Maybe
day,
I'm crazy.
Rips. Brand new day rips.
Yeah. 10,
Brand new
5
day
out
is
of 5.
amazing.
Goated film.
5 out of 5. We
suck
all love
dick.
it. Doomsday's probably gonna suck. Marvel's racist, and this is a lot of bad news. But what good news we can bring you is that this has been a fantastic episode of the Cinestro Core.
Right.
So holla at your boys. Thank you very, very much for watching, listening, or enduring, because this went for 2.5 fucking hours.
We had a lot to say. We had a lot to say.
Our second
We
longest
had a lot
episode,
to
more
say.
likely.
We had a lot to say, but we're glad y'all stuck around for it. Go ahead and hit that like button, that subscribe button, share it with your friends, enemies, lovers, exes, whoever you got. Break into a house and leave a QR code. Fuck it. Do what you got to do. Speaking of doing what you got to do, if you got to do more research into film and you want to know the ins and outs of the filmmaking industry and get all the latest Hollywood goss and entertainment news, go ahead and follow our boys over at Backstage OL, because those guys, gals, and non-binary pals do what we do. Sorry, Backstage XP at the Backstage XP. They changed the name. They did the rebrand. They did rebrand. They do behind the scenes interviews with some of the latest and greatest in Hollywood. Really just the people who are doing it big up there. Actual like full on celebrities, directors, and writers, and much more industry professionals than we can ever get access to. Oh, they talked to Sadie Sink, by the way, about this movie. So if you want to know what she thought about playing
Texas legend.
About playing,
yeah, we up big, bro.
Damn.
Oh my god,
we got two motherfuckers from Texans, and
then when Luis gets cast as Nova and I get cast as Luke Cage, we up.
Texas big up, brother.
If you want to see their interview with Sadie Sink, definitely check them out at the Backstage XP on all platforms. Definitely give them a holler. And speaking of giving them a holler, you can give me a hoot and a holler if you want over at youtube.com/TariSingo. I stream on Twitch. Probably not going to stream for just a little bit because my monitor, I found out today when I got back home, was knocked over and shattered. So we got to buy a new one. But we will be uploading videos. I'm going to be doing a spoiler-free. No, I have a laptop that connects to a second monitor, so I have the laptop monitor still, but I don't have my big screen, which pisses me off. But I will be doing more streams and more videos. I've got an episode of Check This Out, hopefully dropping this week, where me and my friends do commentary over movies. The series we're doing first is I show my friend Transformers until I induce psychosis, because he's never seen them, and I'm very excited to see what that does to a man's mind.
I would like to be involved in that because I have some things to say about.
Matt, I will hit you up when we get. I will hit you up when we get to the fourth one.
Talk about that off mic.
Really bad. We'll talk about it off mic. Also on my Twitch,
we gotta go to.
Also on my Twitch, I stream games. Watch those; they're pretty good. But last but not least, if you want some other stuff that's pretty more gooder, go and follow us at Cinestro Corp on all platforms. We do interviews sometimes with people we can get on. We also got a lot of great stuff in the works and a lot of good gaming streams coming soon. So definitely be prepared for that, because we're going to be playing Anthony Ramos whenever he drops in Marvel Rivals and seeing how that goes. So
the hood is going to be on Rivals.
Yes,
unfortunately. But with that being said, we are going to bring this amazing episode to a close. Thank you so much for watching, listening in, or during. Be sure to give us 5 stars on all audio platforms and share us with your friends, enemies, lovers, and everybody else that you can. And so that Graham can take his great ass to bed, we're going to give him the final sign off. Graham, tell the people.
Go to bed. See ya. See ya on the next episode.
Thanks for watching.
See ya at the movies.
We're the kings of the screen, yeah. Cinestro Core.